or metrokiaofmadison.com. Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Is there anything anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Wednesday edition, the spring sabbatical edition, the big fella, old boy, old T, Mark Gerald Tauscher, on assignment, as Homer likes to say. I think he's scheduled to return to the program on March 31st, and we are really, 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 really lucky that we have so many great, outstanding. I mean, we couldn't meet Rob Domofsky's price. But other than that, we've got some great cousin subs lined up. Cousin subs, we believe in better edition. The Steve the Homer True is going to talk a little bit of Marquette basketball at some point during this program, because I want to do it. And he says it's my show and I get to do that sort of thing. So I'm excited for second-team All-American Cam Jones, along with second-team All-American John Tonje, to be heading into the NCAA Tournament edition. And the scheduled to appear on the program today, Brian Bulaga, who I'm sure will be called the, what does he get called now? The doctor of football? There's the doctor, there's the professor, there's 7'2.5". I don't know what he calls Tim Van Voren, but Brian Bulaga at 9:30 and Rob Domofsky, the aforementioned Rob Domofsky at 10:30 edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, although not quite yet, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And Jesse, where is he? There he is. I couldn't see him with that camouflage hat on.
Been here the whole time.
From the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All studios at the Avenue in the 3rd Street Market Hall in Milwaukee, the home of ESPN Milwaukee and The Truth and 620 WTMJ. He's a Hall of Famer in his own right. 35 years behind the mic, calling Marquette men's basketball. I love this guy. He drives me crazy once in a while, but I love this guy. It is Steve the Homer True. Homer, good morning. How
good morning.
Are you?
I am in no Hall of Fame. So just
none at all?
Zero.
We got to change that. Who do I talk to in the Wisconsin Broadcasters Hall of Fame?
No. When I die, I will be in no Hall of Fames. So give you a heads up.
Nope. I'm all right. I'm going to get on that. John Kerry,
you can do whatever you want.
To work on that.
You can't put somebody in the Hall of Fame who refuses to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I think you can.
Sorry.
I mean, you could just.
I don't believe so.
No, I'm pretty sure you can. You just won't come to the ceremony. I'll have to do your acceptance speech.
Well, fine, do whatever you want. I'm not.
Well,
coming.
I don't want to do it after you're dead.
I know what Hall of Fame is, and it's very important to me. And the places and the groups, I have people that should be in before me, and I want them in. That's
all right. Well, give me that list.
Depends what we're talking about.
Okay.
Wisconsin broadcasters. Is Mark Belling in the Hall of Fame? Mark Belling's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't want to be in any Hall of Fame that has broadcasters in Wisconsin. Bob and Brian, are they in the Hall of Fame?
We'll take a field trip to go see who's in it. I don't know.
We've limited that, so we're out of that. What's the next one?
Well, wait a minute. Just Mark. Do I have to go against the things I believe in and get him in the Hall of Fame first? Is that what you're telling me?
Damn well should. Yes, you bet.
Uncle Bill McCollum's in it from Beaver Dam.
That's fine. If there is anything in broadcasting in the state of Wisconsin honoring excellence and Belling's not in it, it's a fraud.
Okay. So who else do I have to get in besides him before I can get you in?
I would guess Bob and Brian.
Are Reitman and Miller in? Our friend Gene Miller?
Yes, Reitman and Miller are also, they should be in. They may be in. I don't know.
Okay. So Mark Belling, Bob and Brian, and Steve the Homer True, the next Wisconsin broadcasters.
I gave you the ones. Mark
class.
Belling, Bob and Brian, Reitman and Miller,
you just said
Dave and Carroll. Dave and Carroll. These are people that have had incredible ratings and that are the elite of the elite. Like, as I said, if it was like, okay, they're close, North Carolina getting into the tournament, that's one thing. You were talking about the greatest in the history of the state. And if they're not in it, then it's a fraud.
Right, but they're different. They're different categories. This is like having the Pro Football Hall of Fame and Leroy Butler, who's a safety, gets in, and James Lofton, who's a wide receiver, gets in.
But we are when I mention these people,
Kramer,
yes, these people I'm mentioning are all quarterbers. They're all the elite of the elite.
Tausch is a Packers Hall of Famer and not a Badgers Hall of Famer. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
It's not. Tausch is not at their level.
He barely
not even
did.
close.
He didn't do a whole lot at Wisconsin. Remember?
I mean even as a Packer. These people we're talking about in terms of radio are like Paul Hornung being in the Packer Hall of Fame, Bart Starr being in the Hall of Fame, Brett Favre being in the Hall of Fame, Aaron Rodgers being in the Packer Hall of Fame. You couldn't have. What if you had a Packer Hall of Fame and Bart Starr's not in it? You'd go fraud. Fraud. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, you and I differ on our opinion of you, but that sounds like a great class to go in with. Dave Luzak is one of my mentors. He has been fantastic to me. I love him. He just recently retired from WKLH, so I can't. He could not have been more supportive, and then he would promote our show constantly, which I appreciated. So
I don't really care if he's nice or not. I just care about the impact of people
watching. Mark
watching.
Belling in. Yes, I understand. So my point is that I have to put together now an entire class to get you in.
Yeah, these people have to be in.
You're going to refuse
before I
the honor.
Correct, because it's a fraud. I don't want to be a part of a Hall of Fame that's a fraud.
Could you stop yelling fraud because you're making my job harder?
I kind of like it.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll stop doing it. It's your show. I'll never use the word fraud again.
Fraud. Yes, you just did.
Not legitimate.
Okay, so Mark Belling, Bob and Brian, Dave and Carroll,
Reitman
and
Steve
Steve
Miller.
the Homer True.
I
thought they were in already.
I think they are, but I don't want to forget to have them in because they're at the same level.
All right, this is going to be much like we did our part. It was a very small part, but we were constantly. I wrote stories on ESPN.com, which obviously had a very large reach. We talked to him on our show every year. We tried to do our small part of getting Jerry Kramer into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm not saying that he got in because of us by any stretch, but we tried to help. And
Clark Judge, I believe I feel like I deserve some credit for that too.
Great. See? There you go.
Yeah.
That's why you're a Hall of Famer. You just don't know it yet. And the GOAT on top of that. Well, this is the start that I was looking for. This is perfect. So now I know what the task is. I didn't realize I was going to have to work to get so many people into the Hall of Fame in order to get you in there.
Some may already be in.
Well, okay. So you don't even have you got no what are you, Jesse? You got no actual information.
Oh, hey.
Well, Jesse and trivia.
I think I'm pretty comfortable about Belling. The other ones I just threw in just to have them checked as well. I didn't want to. My point is, I understand and have a great appreciation for Hall of Fame. My standard is higher than others. And just because I'm me doesn't change my standard. I get no more benefit from my standard than anybody else.
No, but my point is that in the world of sports talk,
yes,
you are a Hall of Fame player.
Let me emphasize, one of my strong beliefs of Hall of Fame is length of years has nothing to do with it.
No. Stop. No. This is not a Lifetime Achievement Award. Again, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, they have a coach, contributor, players. They have the seniors committee, which just sounds like a good role for you. Like, there's different ways that people get into the Hall of Fame. So whether Mark Belling is in it or not is not germane to whether you are deserving. Those are completely unrelated.
They aren't.
All right, John Kerry, the bat signal is out. I know you love the 3 hours that Homer and I get to spend together when he's our cousin sub of the day. So now he has been recognized for his 35 years of service behind the mic, calling Marquette men's basketball. Now the Wisconsin Broadcasters Hall of Fame is up next. That's our goal. All right, now. I do want to talk some Marquette basketball with you because you know I love college basketball.
Yep.
I'm happy for Cam Jones. You know I love Shaka Smart, even though I've never actually talked to him since he got to Marquette. I am curious, though, about the news of the day, which I don't love talking about. I'd rather talk about your Hall of Fame credentials. But Aaron Rodgers out of the mix in Minnesota. The dream is dead for me.
Whoa. I don't believe that's accurate.
What do you mean?
I believe they said for now. It would appear to me that it's possible, they're not dealing with it now, that if Aaron Rodgers doesn't hook up with another team, that in the future they didn't rule out Aaron Rodgers possibly being a part of it. Did I get the version of it correct?
So Kevin Seifert, who covers the Vikings for ESPN.com, tweeted this earlier today, and I want to make sure you're right, it's fair. J.J. McCarthy remains atop the Vikings QB depth chart as the team rejects trade offers and moves past its discussions about Aaron Rodgers. They still need to acquire a veteran to be McCarthy's wingman, but that's where they are. Further down in his Twitter feed, I am told the Vikings are not pursuing Aaron Rodgers and don't consider him an option as they move into the next phase of the offseason, leaving J.J. McCarthy atop the QB depth chart. Again, Rodgers Vikings was never likely, but it has been discussed.
If he is willing to be the backup, as the way it's presented, I think in the future he could still end up with the Vikings. But they've made it clear we're not getting involved in this fiddling and diddling now. This is no issue of. What they have made it clear, I'll be the Vikings. We want to make it clear that whatever Aaron Rodgers decides, this process is not in delay because of the interest of the Vikings. We have no interest in him now. Whatever the hell Aaron Rodgers decides to do, that's fine. He can wait as long as he wants. We don't care, but don't anybody believe that we have any aspect that is producing a delay in Aaron Rodgers because we have no interest in him right now.
So I would just say this. If you're the Vikings, you obviously don't want to 100%. So someone that I'm familiar with who loves to use 100% and 0% should understand
That'd be me.
That'd be you. If J.J. McCarthy trips over his dog on a walk and re-tears his meniscus in his knee, which I almost did this morning, walking Stella and Sadie, if that happens, you don't think they're going to call Aaron Rodgers then? Of course they are.
Yes.
Right?
And if he's willing to be the backup for the Vikings, they will take him. You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Right,
I
okay.
think that's.
I disagree with you on that.
Okay. I think now he's going to end up in Pittsburgh because he doesn't want to be a backup. He doesn't think he should be a backup. And quite frankly, I don't. If I am a GM, I don't want him as my backup to my young quarterback because all that does is stokes the fire. And I understand you can't worry what the fans think.
That's
but
correct.
It's also what people in the locker room think. If your young quarterback struggles, you're going to have guys in your locker room and certainly fans calling for the 4-time NFL MVP to take over.
And you need to have a good head coach who's in charge.
They do have a good head coach who is in charge.
They wouldn't worry about it at all then.
I don't think you can control behavior of independent contractors in your locker room. If J.J. McCarthy struggles and they stick by him, doesn't matter how dedicated they are to Kevin O'Connell, there's going to be murmurs and whispers. Why don't we just play Rodgers? He's not ready. So, again, for now, but probably for good, the Vikings out on Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is not an Aaron Rodgers show. He is not a Packer, but this does affect the Green Bay Packers, and as Homer always likes to say, everything is important only as it relates to the Green Bay Packers. And now, to me anyway, and we'll talk to Bryan Bulaga coming up, to me, this is good news if you're a Packers fan. I understand there are those that think the old number 12 is washed. But J.J. McCarthy, as did Jordan Love, had his share of growing pains as or will have them, as Jordan Love did, as a first-time starter. And that's good news for the Packers. Now, I think Kevin O'Connell is a really good coach, and I'm sure he'll do a great job of getting J.J. McCarthy prepared. But they're going to have some tough times with some really good weapons. And if they had Aaron Rodgers, I feel like they'd be able to be a little more productive a little more quickly with those great weapons and a guy as good as him. We will talk to Bryan Bulaga coming up. He is the doctor of football, as he has been coined during his 2 days a week with Uncle Homer on the Homer Hour on ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Beaver Dam. Right? You're big at Beaver Dam, aren't you?
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure. Tausch is on sabbatical, but that doesn't mean he won't tell us about Pella, which he will do next. More with Homer as our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Mark Tauscher here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Well, we talk a lot about the unprecedented quality and service you get from Pella. But talking to the people who work there, you can tell how much they genuinely love what they do. Pella's team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the sale. Right now, take advantage of windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends March 31st, 2025. Get started today at PellaWI.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
We are with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Our Pella team simplifies the process, taking time to listen and find the right solution for you. And right now, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
The boys basketball state tournament is here. Find out who will take home the coveted gold ball. Join us live from the Kohl Center starting at 1:30 on Thursday and Friday for semifinal coverage. Then, starting at 10:45 on Saturday, we will have all 5 state championship games.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Service. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. We've been at the heart of many magical moments, from engagements to weddings to sweet 16s. It warms my heart to be a part of these moments for 40 years with people I consider family. With the highest standards and an eye for classic beauty, enjoy a warm boutique setting at Goodman's Jewelers, where integrity shines in every gem. At 220 State Street, Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison, since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
We're on the Packers.
I just don't feel like Goody hits the home runs that merit holding on to draft picks like they're absolute gold. Because his first-round draft pick isn't gold.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Future Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Steve the Homer True in as our Cousin Sub of the Day. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Live from the Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All Studios at the 3rd Street Market Hall on the Avenue in Milwaukee. The biggest news regarding the Packers, not related to Aaron Rodgers not going to the Vikings. They signed a wide receiver, Mecole Hardman, who caught the game-winning touchdown pass in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Can I interrupt?
I don't know if you've never listened to our show before. But whoever is in that chair, I mean, usually it's in his undisclosed location. You don't have to ask to interrupt.
Yeah, it's against the law to refer to this as big news. It's right up there with hiring a new equipment manager. It's impossible to express how insignificant this move is.
He caught the game-winning touchdown in a Super Bowl 25 months ago.
Correct. Okay, fine. Now
no,
add
not
what he
even.
Did.
13 months ago.
Add what he did last year.
Well, he caught
how many yards
passes.
receiving last year? How many yards receiving?
90.
I rest my case.
Well, he had injury problems last year.
Donald Driver. What were Donald Driver's numbers in the NFL? And would you announce a big news that they just signed Donald Driver?
Well, no, he's too busy, promoting Cousins.
All right.
Which
is more important to lead with. He had 90 yards receiving last season, or 2 years ago he caught a pass in a year in which he also did very little. His last decent year was how many years ago? 4?
He has had a lot of he's had some inconsistencies.
Oh, and injuries too, I believe.
And injuries, yes.
Yes. Okay, so what do you choose to lead with? You're a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
True, yeah.
All right. What would you choose to lead with, given that you're in that
all right. Well,
significant group?
First of all, yeah. Well,
yes.
I'm just waiting for Mark Belling to win it, and then it'll be justified. In 2023, with the Jets and the Chiefs, he caught a combined 15 passes for 124 yards. He has not.
That would be 2 years ago, right?
That would be 2023 when he had the Super Bowl touchdown catch.
Right. In 2024, he had how many yards?
He had 12 catches for 90 yards.
In the last 2 years in the NFL, he has had 214 yards receiving. Please give me a list of all the receivers in the NFL that in the last 2 years have had 214 yards receiving or more. Do you think that number is over 1,000 or 2,000?
All right. In fairness, he also had 5 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown during the playoffs in 2023. Okay, so we got to give him credit for those as well.
Yes, you do. I want you to put however you want to put it out there.
276 yards now,
right?
Yeah, 276 yards over the last 2 seasons. Look,
and after he had that impact in the playoffs, what was the interest in the team he was with in keeping him?
Apparently nil, from what I can gather.
All right, good.
Again, this is the kind of low-risk, high-reward potential signing that makes sense for Goody. And this, I think, we should have all been smarter. Myself especially, far and away myself. Like, I was leading the Davante Adams band. I still believe that I was right and Goody was wrong, but that doesn't matter.
I joined that club.
But this makes more sense. This is a guy like Devondre Campbell, like Rasul Douglas, like Keyshawn Nixon. Tausch was killing me for saying, hey, one of the things that you got to do this offseason is hit on a Zach Baun type signing where it costs you next to nothing and suddenly he turns out to be a really good player for you who helps you get where you want to go. That's what Zach Baun did for the Eagles, and then they paid him. If Mecole Hardman can give him a couple of jet sweep touchdowns and a return for a touchdown, he will more than pay for himself. But if you were waiting for sexy, if you were waiting for Davante Adams reunion, if you were waiting for DK Metcalf, you're right. This ain't it. But again, it doesn't cost you much, and quite frankly, when someone reports the contract and only gives the number of years, because agents want that information out there if it's good news. That ain't good news. Means he got next to nothing. Maybe even NFL league minimum. Who knows?
Montana has a better chance of beating Wisconsin than Hardman has of doing anything of impact for the Packers this season.
I won't go there. I disagree with you.
Okay, fine.
Disagree with you. By the way, to
and
your
upon
point
what basis do you disagree? Just so I know what he has done recently that gives you the greatest level of confidence.
Well, for one, if they are going to honor Keyshawn Nixon's request and not have him be the return guy, he gives you that as well. There's value in that.
He's not going to be as good as Nixon.
And they need, and look,
they're going to be worse at that position.
Let's be honest about
not to mention that
is.
It's irrelevant because you don't really return that many kids.
Not very frequently. Very fair.
Yeah. Okay.
But what this is finding a guy who's really fast to fill the void created by Watson's
Would you agree that MVS would have been a better? That's enough. These are this great things. MVS would have been a better acquisition. Yes or no? I say yes easily. It's not even.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't disagree with that either. But he went to Seattle instead, and I don't know if the Packers had any interest in him either.
I just want people to put Hardman in the proper perspective, so that if in fact he does something, they need to recognize how incredible that is, and that's the word it would be.
Well, we'll ask Brian Bulaga what he thinks of this signing. We will also ask him what he thinks of the Aaron Rodgers saga. I do see Diana Rossini to Homer's point, the Vikings have strongly considered and will continue to monitor Aaron Rodgers as an option. But they're not ready to commit at this point in the offseason, per sources.
I just want to let everyone know that I am not a source for her, though it would seem that I might be, since she just stated exactly what I did. She is also not a source for me. I have only one source. You know who my source is?
Rob Domofsky.
I will tell you. Me.
They understand this could lead to him signing elsewhere or retiring. J.J. McCarthy's spring will be key.
By the way, this with Diana, I'm very disappointed.
Oh, no.
Very disappointed.
Why?
She knows he's not retiring. Why do you put that in there? That's crap.
Because that is a tool that he may use to keep himself available while turning down the Steelers.
I don't have to continue passing that tool on to anybody. I will not be a tool for his tool. You can quote me on that. That might be. I don't want to be an insider if I'm being used as a tool.
But that's part of the game. They
all
play it. Yes, they do.
Then don't play it anymore. I will not.
Well, they can't. That's how the game works.
But fine, if Aaron Rodgers uses me as a source, or I use him as a source, and it turns out he was lying, I tell the world, I was told by Aaron Rodgers to change the line. I'm only going to be used by a tool once by somebody. Then I'm going to expose them for what they are, and they can do whatever the hell they want as far as getting information. Diana Rossini doesn't need the source that she has to lie
she
just
probably
because.
Does, actually.
I think she.
And by the way, Aaron Rodgers has debunked a lot of things she said or tried to, and she's been proven right on just about everything.
Yes.
And he was wrong.
Right, so then why does she got to put the retiring? What is the chance of him retiring Jason Wilde? Who, by the way, if he wanted to, since we're now about just making the other person we work with mad in the Hall of Fame, if you wanted to, you could be the best source in the country on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't want to be a tool. The reality is that he could say he's retiring and retire.
Yes, like Brett Favre did.
Right, to keep himself from being on another team, and then when the Vikings call and say, hey, man, McCarthy ain't ready, would you consider unretiring to be our quarterback?
Yes, Diana Rossini should have put just what you stated instead of what she said.
I'm not going to criticize. I am not cut out for that job. I'm not going to criticize.
I'm criticizing that because people need to know there is 0% chance of him retiring. He will be playing in the NFL this season.
There's 0% chance of him permanently retiring.
Correct.
There's a better than 50% chance of him retiring with the ulterior motive of unretiring.
He will play in the NFL this season.
She never says he will not play in the NFL this season.
When you say retiring, that's what people are going to assume.
Smart people can read through that and understand it. Someone like you. Speaking of smart people, we need to get to Bryan Bulaga.
Sorry, I talked too much. Bye.
And when Bryan Bulaga joins, I'm going to say, and I'm just going to turn it over to you and Homer, because since you do that to me every time I'm on
if you choose to do that, I will accept it as my role since it is your show. 3-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year.
Sports writer.
Sports writer of the year. Sorry.
Maybe this year.
You could win that. I don't think anybody's ever won both. Now I think I have a job.
Well, now you have a job. Congratulations. Your job is to sit there and be quiet while I tell you that Bryan Bulaga joins us next with Steve the Homer True as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Here's Tausch telling you about UW Credit Union. Stick around.
UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years, they'll help you reach your financial goals. And if you're like me, you've always got cheddar on the mind. UW Credit Union can help with no monthly fee checking and great rates that let you keep more of your cheese. And when you're at that stage of life where you're ready to purchase a new home, UW Credit Union is your location for home loans. With UW Credit Union's local experts, a great loan at a great rate is never far from home. Join today at uwcu.org. That's uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Brewers baseball is in the air.
It's back, and it is up, and it is gone. A walk-off homer for Vinny Capra.
Spring back into the baseball season on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. Well, this time of year, it feels like every day is a big game day, and you need a winning pizza lineup to celebrate. Pepperoni, sausage and mushrooms, or ham, pineapple, and bacon. Well, the choice is yours. And right now, you get a large, 3-topping original stuffed crust pizza for just $11.99 at Pizza Hut. Available for delivery or carryout, you can create your perfect pizza no matter the game plan for just $11.99. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or online at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
The boys basketball state tournament is here. Find out who will take home the coveted gold ball. Join us live from the Kohl Center starting at 1:30 on Thursday and Friday for semifinal coverage. Then, starting at 10:45 on Saturday, we will have all 5 state championship games.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN.
Join the Madison Area Sports Commission live and in person for a Good Morning Sports event featuring Love Madison Volleyball. On March 31st, meet an all-star lineup of Love Madison athletes and hear about the first season of pro volleyball in Madison. Registration donations benefit the MASC Youth Grant to get kids into sports. Register online at visitmadison.com/GMS. This event is sponsored by American Family Insurance and Oak Bank, supported by ESPN Madison, and produced by the Madison Area Sports Commission.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
What are you doing out there?
Come on!
I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Wisconsin.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine-in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to vintagebrewingcompany.com to make a reservation today. That's vintagebrewingcompany.com.
Get ready, Madison. The Packers Tailgate Tour rolls back into town on Wednesday, April 9th. Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Join us in supporting Dairyland Sports, a Madison-based nonprofit improving access to sports, fitness, and recreation for individuals with physical disabilities in Wisconsin. Learn more and support the cause at dairylandsports.org/Packers Tailgate. And stay tuned to ESPN Madison for your chance to win VIP tickets to the Packers Tailgate Tour. Sponsored by Visit Verona, Paul's Party, and ESPN Madison.
We're on the Bucks.
He's one of those guys that can absolutely dominate. He can activate that MVP mode.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And you know when Giannis is right, he can carry his team across the finish line.
Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of. But back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city.
I love this guy. And he, like me, should be nominated for sainthood for how much we put up with this old crazy codger, Uncle Homer. from a soccer field. I love it! It is our favorite retired Packers right tackle, Bryan Bulaga, on Wilde and Tausch. Hey, Coach! How are things going?
It's going. Just out here, my daughter's in the back of the truck. I think she's got every umbrella opened up in the back. I have to occupy her at this camp. My wife's she's getting her hair done, so I'm on duty today. I'm on duty, so trying to keep her occupied, snacks and all that. Just let her play in the back of the truck. Declan's out there working, so yeah, just living the dream.
So you're not coaching, despite your resume as a former professional athlete, a brilliant soccer viewer. I don't know about player. You're not coaching. You're just dadding.
Oh yeah, this is dadding. There's no coaching this game. I am not coaching this game. This is giving Declan the best opportunity to succeed in this game and letting someone else do it, because it is certainly not with me coaching him in this. So yeah, he goes with someone else to help him learn in this arena. We'll put it that way.
Well, you're a smart guy. You know your lanes, and that's what makes you a good dad. All right, I'm going to do to you, or I'm going to do to Homer, what Homer does to me when you are on the Homer Hour. Homer thinks the Mecole Hardman signing, well, I'll let him explain how meaningless it is. Homer, take it away.
Yes, Brian Bulaga, future Hall of Famer for the Packers. I want people to know that Montana has a better chance of beating Wisconsin than Hardman has of doing anything of significance for the Packers. People need to realize in the last 2 years, he has a grand total of 214 yards receiving. So if he does something, that's great. But people need to know it's unlikely the Packers have made an acquisition or announced a signing in the last 5 years of less significance than this one. And it has nothing to do with whether they need a player at that position. Do you believe my opinion is appropriate, or I've gone too far, or how would you
he
respond?
Never goes too far. Yeah, never.
Please don't interrupt, sir. You're acting like Homer. You said you were not talking.
I'm not. I'm out.
We talked about this Monday, Homer, and I said it. There's no one coming in to save the wide receiver room, right? Like, they're not bringing anyone in to come save the room at this point. And I agree that this move doesn't do that. I'm not sure if he's being brought in to fill a special teams need, or he's being brought in to maybe bolster depth, or what it may be. I'm not sure if he was injured the last few years or what his role is with Kansas City. I know I think I saw the stat that he had like 90 yards last year for KC. He wasn't really utilized at all. So I'm not too sure what he will be used for in Green Bay, so to speak. I know he's got speed. That's great. But I mean, I don't even know the details of the contract and if he is guaranteed to even make the roster, so to speak. So I'm not – listen, I'm fine with them signing. Like, it's I hope it works out great, but I'm just not totally sure if it's like a move that could even stick through training camp. Like, is where I'm kind of going with it.
And if it's possible, he could do great. He has speed. But if he does, people need to realize this will be one of the greatest acquisitions ever in the history of Goody.
Should be the opposite of what you're saying right now.
Yeah, if it works out, then yeah.
If
then
you hire an ant to defeat a lion head-to-head, and the ant wins, you've got to say that was the greatest acquisition in the history of animal fights. But the odds of that occurring are none and none. Or slim and none.
Yeah, slim and none. Yeah, I mean, listen, if it pans out, right, and he ends up playing wide out and he has a phenomenal year, and I mean,
if he gets 300 yards receiving, I would say it's what would be, and I will defer to the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, given what he's done the last 2 years, if he has 300 yards receiving, I will give an A to Goody for this acquisition.
Well, considering that their leading receiver this past season only had 857 yards, I would say that would be good.
What would be an A for Goody on this acquisition?
4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns, whether they come from jet sweep or a return or pass catches, whatever it is. 300-ish yards from, I'll even give you yards from scrimmage.
Good.
Right? Because he's not going to be, he's going to be a gadget player for them. Brian nailed it. He is not saving the wide receiver room. He is filling the speed void created by the absence of Christian Watson tearing his ACL in a game he wasn't going to play in until Romeo Doubs was sick. And so now they had to get someone who is fast. They got someone who's fast. Now, he has not been productive. He was durable his first 3 years. Dude was a second-round pick. The Packers had him on their board along with DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Drew Lock, and Elton Jenkins. Ultimately, they picked Elton Jenkins. A couple of those guys went before they picked. Hardman and DK Metcalf went after they picked. Bottom line, this is the kind of low-risk, high-reward signing that could help them if they hit on it. Are the odds in the favor of them hitting on it? No. Brian knows this. The fact that it's not out there what the contract numbers are tell you the contract numbers are bleh. They are cheap. Because agents, if he got him a $10 million deal, the agent would be giving that to every media outlet on the planet. So it's probably close to minimum, which means, as Brian pointed out, that they could cut him in training camp. If he doesn't have then they want to keep some 6th-round wide receiver instead on the 53. But it's low risk. It fills a need. He is not, as Brian so eloquently put it, saving the wide receiver room. But he is a player that in Matt LaFleur's offense could have some value. And I think if we view it from that perspective, as opposed to the perspective of, boy, they could have really used Devontae Adams in that wide receiver room, then it's fine. And if he hits, great. Brian, I don't want to keep you for 2 segments today because you're at soccer camp, and Lord knows when my daughters are in the car and I'm doing radio, the last thing they want to listen to is my voice. So I want to get to Aaron Rodgers.
Would you please let your guest determine? Maybe he's fine doing it.
Brian, would you like to stay for 2 segments today, or would you like to get back out there and enjoy the Florida sunshine?
Well, I mean, I think we end around 11. So, I mean, if we can get 2 segments in, I mean, it just depends.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll just do 1 long segment, and then we'll run long, and we'll get you out a little bit before 11, which is kind of what I would have probably ended up doing anyway.
Thanks for asking him actually what he prefers.
Very polite.
Yeah.
You are being Homer. You're outstanding.
I'm doing my best imitation.
You got a future.
All right, Brian. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but you played with him. And now the latest piece of intel that we've gotten after the news that the Vikings, at least for now, are out on Aaron Rodgers. This now comes from Adam Schefter. Let me read this to you. Nothing related to Minnesota has altered Aaron Rodgers' timeline. One source monitoring Rodgers' potential decision about the 2025 season, said this morning that the free agent QB still, quote, is in no rush at all. Again, if you want to read between the lines there, Brian, that tells me he ain't excited about his options being the Steelers and the Giants. And so he's going to wait and see if J.J. McCarthy sucks this spring and the Vikings change their mind and say, hey, Aaron, upon further review, like Thornton Mellon in Back to School, put your suit on, we need you. How do you view the Aaron Rodgers waiting game right now?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems as if he, like you said, isn't thrilled to death with the options that are available. And, you know, where he's at right now, I don't blame him. He did the thing with the Jets. Obviously, it didn't go very smoothly. I've said it a million times, and I think a lot of people do. I mean, Minnesota is the best fit, and if that's the way Minnesota came out today and said that they plan to be with McCarthy and all that, and that's what they're going to at least try to start with in the spring, and that's where Aaron saw his best move to be. If that was the case, it would make sense for him to see, maybe they don't like that during the spring, right? Maybe they see something different after the spring goes through, or maybe a week or two into training camp, and they're like, hey, maybe we should give Aaron a call and see if he still would feel like doing it. Because, I don't know how it would go in Pittsburgh. I don't know how that team will be. You know what I mean? I'm not totally sure. And we all know the Giants, there's no way he's going there. I don't see that at all. That move makes no sense to me. So I think that one's off the table for sure. So it's really Pittsburgh and Minnesota would be my guess if I was a betting man. And the fact that it hasn't been done with Pittsburgh yet, to me, is a sign. And to me, it shows that he's really not that excited about it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. And look, it makes sense to keep your options open. He is leaving retirement on the table. But at this point, do you believe that is just a tool, a club in his bag, to leave it out there in case it gets to the point where it's the Steelers or nothing, and if he wants to play, he wants to be able to say, well, I just wasn't sure if I could commit, so I had to go through my process, and now I'm ready. Like, we know the game he's playing here, right? And if you were, let me put it this way, if you were a member of the Vikings, we wouldn't dislike you. We've put up with you being from Chicagoland and that you went to Iowa. But let's put you on the Vikings now. And J.J. McCarthy is struggling. And they signed Rodgers purely to be his backup. Like, hey, you're going to be the backup. What would happen in a locker room that had the future Pro Football Hall of Famer and 4-time MVP while J.J. McCarthy was struggling? Would there be players talking around the cribbage table about, we gotta play Rodgers. The kid's not ready. Would that be happening?
Oh, yeah. Yes. There's absolutely no doubt that would start happening. And why it would start happening is because Aaron would be in practice absolutely torching the Minnesota defense and the scout team. So they would be seeing what he's doing in practice, just dissecting Flores' defense in practice and doing very well in that. And then they would see McCarthy potentially, if he was struggling, doing what he was doing, and they'd be going, all right, like, why isn't he playing? And that would start, the chatter would start. And then when you have wide receivers like Jefferson and Addison that potentially aren't getting the touches that they're used to getting, that starts to pick up, right? Like those wideouts want the football. They want the ball. And if they see a quarterback that's able to deal it and still deal it at a high level, and he's watching, those guys start to talk a little bit. And then the pressure starts to come on the head coach about winning, and he's an offensive guy, and he knows Aaron's played in that system, and he's thrived in that system, and a lot of pressure starts to build. So yeah, that would be something that would most likely happen if they did bring Aaron in just a pure backup role, and it didn't go well to start, for sure. Absolutely.
Steve, do you have anything you'd like to ask Brian before we bid him farewell?
If he was advising Aaron Rodgers, what would he tell him to do? Or hold on, let me do that. If Aaron Rodgers asked you, because you're a longtime friend, you played for him, he respects your opinion, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, obviously, my first thing would be like, whatever you feel is best. But if you want my true opinion, I would say hold out for Minnesota. That would be what I would say. Because I don't think, for how I feel in all of it, listen, Pittsburgh has some pieces. They have a solid defense. I get it's a historic franchise and all that, but like I'm just not totally sure how well it would go. Like, right, like I'm just not totally sold. I mean, the team's been, I mean, let's call it what it is. They've been right around 500, just above it the last how many years. I'm not sure. I mean, I get they brought in Metcalf, the wide receiver, and all. I get all that, but like, I guess I'm just not totally sold. And I get you bring him in and he does elevate as a quarterback, but like, is everything still there that you need? And I'm not totally sure. And I know at Minnesota, those pieces are there. It's a good defense. It's a good offensive line. It's a good wide receiver group. It's a good tight end. It's a good running back. It's a good play. Everything is there. It's an indoor stadium. It's against very familiar opponents, obviously. It's just a good fit. You look at what he would walk into and it's very well suited for him. So like that would be my 2 cents for him. Would be like, let's see if that situation unfolds for you, because I think he would be able to walk in there and be successful. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, and by the way, DK Metcalf, uber talented, fast, built like a I guess brick house. And Pickens is talented too. But to either of those guys, you're going to have to go get that. You're going to have to go get your tent here in a second. Do either of those guys strike you as precision route runners that Aaron Rodgers would enjoy throwing to? No matter how talented they are, they're going to drive him up the wall, I would predict. You want to join my club?
There's a good chance there'd be a couple back shoulders that would not be completed that he may not like. We'll just put it that there'd be a couple back shoulders that he'd be expecting that they should know that wouldn't happen, that he'd be a little upset about. I mean, if I had to take a guess. And listen, those guys are emotional players. We've seen it on the sideline from both of those guys, and Aaron obviously is an emotional guy too. He demands a lot about his wideouts. So I just don't know how it would play out. I just don't know. You know what I mean? Like, and it just seems, like I said, a better fit in Minnesota with what they have going on there and the team that they have.
All right, Brian, enjoy the rest of the day on dad duty. I hope Abby's hair turns out great, and thanks for stepping in. I know you're part of the rotation during the Tausch spring sabbatical, so we look forward to you joining us sometime next week. Thanks, buddy. Have a good day.
All right, guys, take it easy.
He is the great Brian Bulaga, who we appreciate his visits every Wednesday. And, of course, you can hear him twice a week on the Homer Hour, including on Thursdays when I join the program and Homer turns the show over to me. I will continue, and I will turn the show over to Homer again because I have something else I want to get his opinion on. I'm guessing he'll have a pretty strong opinion on it. We'll find out what it is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badgers.
Who would have thought after 2 seasons?
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
That Greg Gard would have less of a hot seat than Luke Fickell.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple to play. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states. The app is really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do, pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Combine your favorite basketball players with players from baseball and hockey, esports, and much, much more. Second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. And don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Wisconsin owning the 13th best odds to be bracket champs per ESPN Bet. ESPN analyst Josh Pastner sees Bucky as a solid threat. Pastner backing that up with 4 points during his appearance on the jump around.
Number one, they defend without fouling. Number two, they don't turn the ball over. Number three, they are fundamentally sound at everything they do. 4, they make threes, and they make threes at a high clip, and you have perimeter players in Blackwell, Tanja, and Klesmit being able to make those threes.
Play back the full special edition of the Jump Around on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Is it Waukesha or Waukesha? Brat or Brat? Is it ever okay to vacation in Minnesota? Wisconsinites can't agree on everything, but we can agree getting paid earlier is better. That's why UW Credit Union is making members direct deposits available up to 2 days earlier. Early payday at UW Credit Union. Join today. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Oh my gosh, Allie, did you look at Janet's roof? Ugh, it's like so flat. It looks like one of those roofing contractor commercials. Who even understands those roofing guys anyways?
I like flat roofs and I cannot lie. You other contractors can't deny. TPO way up high. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring.
If you want a roof that's worth staring at, Avondale Roofing is where you go. Your roofing experts for over 30 years. AvondaleRoofing.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you.
Thanks as always to Brian Bulaga. We're always smarter after we talk to him. All right, Homer, I want to start here to kick off the 10 o'clock hour in a minute.
And please understand that any topic has not been discussed before because part of the deal of working with Homer is there will be no meetings. Not today, not ever. So everything he says will be the result of a topic that he has no way of knowing for sure if it's going to come up, which is the way I like it to be with my guests, and so we don't have any meetings either.
Yeah, we don't. I work with Tausch. I mean, I'm not necessarily sure we needed that public service announcement.
Well, I don't know that you discuss that process with others, and I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what
we send some
what
texts.
prep you do.
That's it.
Okay,
what crap we do. Yes,
Jesse puts in a lot of work to put a show sheet together, and
then
Tausch
it gets
derails
ignored.
it in the first 2 minutes every day. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's actually really plug and play when you fill in for him. Like, you're the perfect cousin sub because he's unpredictable and so are you. Okay. So here's what I would like, since we didn't have a meeting, which thank you for letting everyone know that we don't do any preparation.
I think they were getting suspicious. That was
I'm sure
to point out. Yeah.
I'm sure they really thought there were those meetings. Goody came out after the season in his response to my question. Maybe Jesse can track down the audio. Maybe it's saved somewhere that it's easy to find. His whole quote about Ramp up the urgency, compete for championships. My question for you to ponder heading into the 10 o'clock hour is this. Has Goody in any way ramped up his own urgency with his approach to this offseason? We will delve into that when we kick off the 10 o'clock hour in a few minutes. Want to remind you, Gruber Law Offices, you see the logo behind Homer inside the Gruber Law Offices One Call That's All studios. They are incredibly supportive of me and of this show, and I'm appreciative of that, but they are also the best in the business if you've been injured in an accident. Hope you never have to call them. Hope you never have to make the call. But if you do, know the number, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, Gruber Law Offices, One Call. That's all. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch with Steve the Homer True as our cousin sub of the day starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street, and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Milwaukee Bucks in action last night as their West Coast road trip kicks off in San Francisco against the Golden State Warriors. Golden State defeats the Bucks 104-93. No Steph Curry in the game for Golden State, but they still get the victory, led by Jimmy Butler with 24 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds. It was Kyle Kuzma actually leading the way for the Bucks last night, 22 points. Giannis had 20 with 9 rebounds. Milwaukee next in action Thursday night, visiting the Los Angeles Lakers. Tip time at 9:30 here on Madison's Home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Some NFL news this morning. First, the Green Bay Packers did make a splash in free agency at wide receiver. If you want to call it a splash, Mecole Hardman, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets, agreeing to a one-year deal with the Green Bay Packers. Also significant news today, NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reporting the Minnesota Vikings not actively pursuing bringing in Aaron Rodgers at this time. Wilde and Homer talking all about it next.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch with Steve the Homer True in as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Some questions in the YouTube comments. What are you doing when your head is down? Are you reading? Are you nodding off? What's going on over there?
You mean me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
I never look at the camera. I don't understand the point of looking at the camera. I'm looking at things on the internet, maybe information about the receiver picked up. I'm also working on a plan for a new bracket contest for the NCAA tournament as a result of being involved in one last night where I feel that some people get screwed. And so, but my head is down all the time. People think I'm rude to the partners I'm on. People have said that, and that's fine. They don't know what the hell's going on.
What's your idea you're coming up with?
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
All right, okay, this is
Jesse's
a great idea.
Jesse's got to look for this Goody audio, but he's going to be listening because I'm intrigued.
I'm
too.
more interested
I
in
don't
this,
have
honestly.
it. You clearly don't listen to what I've said. My position on Goody about that comment has been the same from the very beginning. You can check the tapes. I've stated from the beginning it had nothing to do with him acquiring what?
Not everyone listens to the show every day.
That no one
And
listens
you're on
to
a
my
different
show.
show than
That's
you
an excellent
normally
point. I apologize to the Wilde and Tausch. This show should be in the Hall of Fame.
Right after Mark Belling.
Correct. But anyway, so where were we at now? Which were we going to? Me not caring about looking at you?
Yeah,
people should know we're not in the
position
same
Goody.
building, so I'm not looking at you. They guess they think
I'm
we
not
might be
looking
all in
at
the
you
same
either.
building.
I have an iPad in front of me, and I look straight ahead when I talk into the microphone. That leads people to be able to see my face, as opposed to you with your. I'm sure you got it for free. Camouflage hat.
I tried this approach because it was in the table where I entered the studio. I thought I'll just grab that and wear that. I don't know. I don't know how it goes, but when you have no hair, I think you should wear a hat. I'm leaning in that direction.
Yeah, Matt Carney feels the same way. All right, so what is this new NCAA tournament
All right, it's a great
bracket
concept.
idea?
You have 16 people involved, and they each put in $100. And then you draw randomly which position you get to select 1 through 16. All right? And then you each get 4 picks. The issue is the money only starts if your team gets it to the Elite 8. And my point was, well, then that means if you pull out number 9 through 16, you kind of get screwed because the best you can get is the 9th best team, and you don't get any money if they don't make the Elite 8. And the majority of teams that make the Elite 8 are teams that are probably the first 8 selected. So I said we got to even this out. It's not fair. And couldn't come up with a way. But I have now discovered a way that works, and that is that there's a certain amount. For example, each team that makes the Elite 8 gets $100. So if you have a team that makes the Elite 8, you get $100. No, we will add up all the seeding so that if you're a 15th seed, you're going to get more money for getting that team in the Elite 8. It's really brilliant. So I stole it from somebody else who was there last night. I had to check the numbers. For example, in last year's tournament under the new setup, let me see which one I have here. UConn won the tournament, but they only win $350. Purdue loses in the championship game. They get $150 because they were both 1 seeds. NC State, on the other hand, an 11th seed that makes the Final Four, gets $530.
It's just going to be my question.
And Alabama was a 4 seed, and they make $196. So now, when you are picking first, you might not necessarily take a 1 seed if you don't think they're going to win it, because you're going to make more money with a 2 seed or a 3 seed if they make some advances. And so it's solved. So I can go on to my next subject, my next thing I do while I'm doing the show.
So where does here? Jesse, you have a question first. Go ahead.
I like the idea of this.
Mm-hmm.
Could you do it like, instead of taking all the same number seeds, can you do like a draft where everybody
there's a number of other ways to do it. To do it. This is just very simple. It's $100. Everybody picks, you take the order and you just pick. So there are a number of other ways to do better bracket things. I just wanted to keep it the way they've set it up. It's very simple. It's very fast. You can do it last night we probably did it in 20 minutes.
So I'm confused. Where does the skill come in for this? Or where does the knowledge come in for this? Where does it stop being luck and start being
it's
acumen?
luck, but at the top, you have the first pick this year. Who are you going to take? Florida, whatever. So
Tennessee.
So if you drew the number 1 out of the ping pong balls, so you get the first pick. Then whoever got number 2, but out of the ping pong balls, you get 16. It sucks. I mean, what are your chances of you getting one of a team in the Elite 8 when the first team you're going to take is the 16th best team?
So last year's Final Four, 2 1 seeds, a 4
seed,
11, and an 11 seed.
Correct. Yes, and of all the teams picked, you would have been best, and it would have won the most money if you picked NC State. And as an 11th seed, that was probably, who knows how many. It was probably the 30th pick or something like that. So, and UConn, if you win it, you're going to still do pretty well. UConn, you put in 100, you get 350. But Purdue loses in the national championship game, and they're a number 1 seed. You only won $50. Why? Because they were a 1 seed. Alabama's a 4 seed. They don't even make the championship game. You still get 200, 196. So it's a nice.
So that 2023 Final Four, when it was UConn, San Diego State, Miami, and Florida Atlantic, a 4,
yes,
a 5,
all right, excellent.
a 5, and a 9.
Yes, all right, I got that. All right, UConn won, and they were a 4. So they $430. Florida Atlantic was a 9. They won $315. I mean, it was amazing. San Diego State, a number 5, $285, and Miami of Florida, 5, $175. For example, number 2, second seed Texas made the Elite Eight. You lost $60. Number 3, Kansas State was a 3 seed, made the Elite Eight. You lost $40. Gonzaga, 3 seed. You lost Texas. So the premise is you had so many surprising teams that taking a 1 seed or a 2 seed, you didn't win any money, and that's to me makes it much more interesting. And I don't know, since we haven't done it, we won't till next year if they actually agree with me, which is limited, as to if it will change people. Like if I think a number 2 is as good as the one that's left, I'm going to take a number 2 or a number 3. I got a chance to win more money. It's worth the risk. And that makes, to me, it more interesting.
And if it's 2018 when Loyola of Chicago went to the Final Four, or 21 when UCLA did, or last year when NC State did.
How about St. Peter's? St. Peter's, when they went as a 15 seed to the Elite Eight, you won $150. And they didn't get past the Elite Eight. Number 8, North Carolina, was runner-up. Oh, baby! Win $500. Kansas won the national title, and they were a 1 seed. You only won $170. Kansas is a 1 seed, won you $170. North Carolina is an 8 seed, losing the championship game, won you $450. And St. Peter's, a 15 seed, only making the Elite Eight, won you $150, which is the way it should be.
You sat down and did all this math? Like, don't you have anything else to do?
It was wild this morning while I was doing this show.
Bulaga was talking, yeah.
Bulaga and when you were talking.
Down there, you're doing arithmetic while we're doing the show. Good to know.
Yes.
You asked him what he was doing with his head down. That's what led to all this.
Hey, I'm glad I got the answer.
All right, and here's the answer I give to people as to why I also don't tell them where the hell I am. Did anybody say, Homer just seems to be off his game? Does he even know what he's talking about? And no one said that. If the quality of the work, and that's all that matters, is fine, who cares what I'm doing?
Well, I do, for one, and I'm not sure the quality of work was
that
Mom,
great.
Why?
All right, well, then funny, you never brought it up until right now.
Well, I didn't want to
In fact, if
embarrass
anything, you
publicly.
told me to shut up. No, if I was so busy doing something else, wouldn't the first thing you know that I wasn't listening or wasn't aware of what was being said? Of course not. You complained, as everyone does, that I interrupt too much and don't shut up. Clearly, that shouldn't be a problem if you're spending all your time doing this other stuff.
Jesse, how many tickets you want to give away to Thanasis Live, presented by Gruber Law Offices today?
Let's give away 2 tickets at a time, and let's do it twice
All
today.
right.
Yeah.
So Gruber Law Offices Thanasis Live is back, and right this very moment is your chance to win a pair of tickets, courtesy of McDonald's, where Homer has in his app. His name is Giannis.
I ate there this morning, by the way. Got a free hash brown. I'd like to thank McDonald's. Free hash brown from their app.
I knew you'd be listening when I mentioned McDonald's. Caller number 7 right now, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Right now wins 2 tickets to Thanasis Live on March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. 2 tickets courtesy of McDonald's. Caller 7 right now, 844-770-3776. And, hey, maybe you're not going to win. Maybe you're not going to be caller 7. Well, you can still join Thanasis for that live show, which will entertain fans like none other. Last year, not only was Thanasis there, but Giannis was there, and a surprise appearance from Stephen A. Smith.
Got to get Barkley this year. Got to get Barkley.
You never know what Thanasis has planned. So, and if you don't win the tickets now here on Wilde and Tausch, you can still get your tickets to Grubel offices. Thanasis Live. Right now, all you got to do is go to the ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison social media channels, find out event information and ticket information. Excitement and entertainment you can't get anywhere else. It's Grubel offices, Thanasis Live, presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel, carbless, and supported by the Prisoner Wine Company and McDonald's. More Homer and Wilde on Wilde and Tausch next, so stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
We are with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Our Pella team simplifies the process, taking time to listen and find the right solution for you. And right now, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
Summer is coming, and it's time to start thinking about your summer job. Jesse Nelson here. Madison School and Community Recreation is now hiring for many positions, including day camp and youth program leaders, support staff for individuals with disabilities, sports instructors and officials, and more. Full and part-time positions with daytime and evening hours are available. No matter your interest, schedule, or location, there's a position for everyone. At MSCR, you can make an immediate impact in the community and gain meaningful experience. Start your summer adventure today. Apply at mscr.org.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Join the Madison Area Sports Commission live and in person for a Good Morning Sports event featuring Love Madison Volleyball. On March 31st, meet an all-star lineup of Love Madison athletes and hear about the first season of pro volleyball in Madison. Registration donations benefit the MASC Youth Grant to get kids into sports. Register online at visitmadison.com/GMS. This event is sponsored by American Family Insurance and Oak Bank, supported by ESPN Madison, and produced by the Madison Area Sports Commission.
We're on the Badgers.
Anything short of a Sweet 16 is going to be a great disappointment.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They are as good and as ready as I've seen a Badgers team of late.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Don't ever see you sober. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding.
Continuing with Steve the Homer True, our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. All right, Jesse, let's play that clip again, because I know we played it a lot in January after I asked the question at the end of Goody's Q&A session with us. But this is the quote of the offseason to this point. And I'm curious how we view what Goody has done in relation to what he said about his players when it comes to urgency. Here's Brian Gutekunst on January 16th.
Spent a lot of time today talking about a lot of really good things, right? A lot of growth and a lot of really good players you have on your team. You talked a little bit about inconsistency, but I mean, the bottom line is you did finish 11-6 and you didn't get to where you wanted to go. So as you go into 2025, like, what is your challenge? Like, what is your, like, hey, this is title town, this is about championships, we didn't get to what disappointed you about this year that you need to be better about?
Yeah, you always have some disappointments in the year. I think for me, the thing that's been on my mind, I think as we've concluded this season, is we need to continue to ramp up our sense of urgency. These opportunities don't come, the life of a player in the National Football League is not very long. We got a bunch of good guys in that locker room. We got a bunch of talented guys in that locker room, and I think it's time that we start competing for championships, right? And I think they're ready. I think they're, like I said, I think they are wired right. I think that group is the kind of guys that can do that. But at the end of the day, you got to go do it. And we fell short in some areas this year that, like they always are every year, a little frustrating. But at the same time, I didn't think they blinked. And so I'm excited about the group, but. The sense of urgency, not getting complacent. Some of these guys have now proven themselves to be NFL football players and have attained that. But what's out there for us as a team that we're willing to commit to and sacrifice for, and so that's kind of the, if I'm looking at one thing, that'd be it.
Homer, when you listen to that, and he even uses the word complacent at the end there, he is clearly challenging his young players. But what has he done, in your estimation, this offseason that matches the challenge he issued to his team?
Nothing, but he didn't say that he would. If you go back and listen, I listened more closely this time, that after he made that reference, he talked about all the current players. This had nothing to do with him doing anything. This was all 99, not 100%, about what he's saying to the players on the team and what they must do. He says, I'm excited about the group. I didn't mean anything about the new players, the group that are here. But they must, as what's the phrase you've used many times, they must understand the sense of urgency, or however he put it. It had absolutely nothing to do with anything other than his comment to the current players and what they must do next season for the team to have a chance to be good.
Right.
There's no reference or
my point, though, and that's the question I'm
getting at.
Yeah,
he didn't have to do anything. He thinks the team is good enough as it is now. Doesn't need to make major changes.
So if you challenge your players to ramp up your sense of urgency,
correct.
You, as the general manager, do not also have to ramp up your sense of urgency and be more aggressive because you think you have what you need already. Is that your position?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah, I've done my job. Now it's up to them. That's simple.
I don't know if I ever like somebody who says, I've done my job, now it's your turn to do yours.
Well, I mean, let's look at the players that he added. Let's look at the young players, some that were drafted. He's certainly done a better job. The Goody over the last 2 years is, 1,000% better than the earlier Goody? He added 2 players that he shouldn't have been able to get. The teams were stupid
That's
to make
true.
them available. And he drafted how much better? Both Williams and Cooper. Williams and Cooper might be the 2 most important players in terms of the possibility of them escalating their play for next year. So, yes, Goody, he's not going to say that. I sucked a few years ago. I've been doing a hell of a good job. Now it's time for these players who have shown that they're good, quarterback as well. They gotta play to the level that I believe they're at. I don't got to do anything. We're ready. Let's go. Let's go. He, of course, didn't say that exactly that way to you, Jason. But
I don't have
what
to
he
do
said.
anything. That would have gone over well. Jesse,
No, I got it. And then I hope to have a draft this year as good as the draft last year's. People should look. I should just be Goody. People should look at how many changes were necessary by Philadelphia in the last year in terms of draft and acquisitions for them to be good enough to escalate up to a Super Bowl win. And, we may need to do the same, but that doesn't mean we have to. That just is that's what my expectations are, that I will draft as well as I've done in recent years, and that'll make the team better too. Any other questions, Jason?
Yeah, for Jesse. Jesse, are you in Homer's club then, that the general manager issuing this type of an edict about ramping up urgency and competing for championships and not being complacent does not then also apply to him when he issues that challenge to his players?
I actually am in Homer's club.
Good.
Yeah, I like it. When you are in a position where you need to be level-headed and not emotional, it's up to Matt LaFleur to drive home the emotion and the sense of urgency with all the players. It's up to the players and the leaders in the locker room to drive home that emotion and that sense of urgency. I want Goody to be flat, not emotional. I want him to make the best business decisions to keep the Green Bay Packers competitive and in the mix to win a Super Bowl every single year. And if that means that he can say that the trickle down to Matt LaFleur and to the players in the locker room right now is urgency, step it up, no job is safe. It's up to him not to necessarily go out and just, sell the farm to make sure 1 year has all the pieces in place to go and win a title. It's up to him to still maintain the success long term. It's a different role than the head coach or the leaders in the locker room.
Somewhere in between sell the farm and go all in for 2025 and adding a $77 million guard and a corner, I think, is where I would argue he could land. And that's why I go back to the Adams thing. We just got done largely dismissing, some saying that signing 47-year-old Donald Driver would have the same impact as signing Mecole Hardman. There isn't a level of urgency that says, hey, we think we've got a team that can compete for a championship that needs some pieces. I don't know if a guard and Nate Hobbs are those pieces.
Jason, you're right. The piece you object to that he hasn't addressed is wide receiver because of the injuries that you mentioned. This is separate from all. There's no big picture of all the team. This is one particular area with, given the problems last year, throwing the ball, nobody being open. I think you're 1,000% correct. I don't forget all the other stuff. I don't know what his answer is to that.
Yeah.
For all you've stated, Watson is hurt. Now, it tells me that they're not worried about the concussions. That's my first
I would agree.
thought. Mm-hmm. So, but yes, it was the same way with Jordy Nelson. I'll never understand how they didn't overpay for Davante Adams. To call up his people and say, if he doesn't want to come here, fine. We'll overpay everyone. We want him on this team now. That's what you would have done. That's what I would have done. It's just costing you money. But it may be that he didn't want to come here, but Goody clearly didn't take that approach. And all the other stuff he's done, I think he's justified in terms of the guys he's drafted and what he's done with the team. Now, is it good enough to win the Super Bowl? I'm not sure I'm sold on that, but
right,
that
and that's
means...
my point. That you just crystallized my point.
But that's him.
I'm
That's
not
his level.
saying, not saying you go crazy and spend way beyond your means with the salary cap to go all in for this year to show that you as the GM are ramping up your urgency. What I am saying is that if you look at what they've done this year, there's not a whole lot of, clearly he believes that, I get it. He thinks he's got some really good players on this team. I agree with him on that point. They have not shown that they have been any better than a 7 seed and a team that won a playoff game in Dallas, but last year finished losing, and Goody has pointed this out repeatedly, lost their last 3 games. That is not how you want to go into your offseason feeling about your team. And I commend him for not going crazy and just going out there and trading for DK Metcalf and trading for Trey Hendrickson and doing a bunch of things that are out of character. But doing a little bit more than what you traditionally do, I don't think that is unrealistic or a big ask. And I would also say that those types of maneuvers would indicate that he feels I need to help these guys ramp up their urgency by giving them some more pieces to work with. And he did not do that. And I would
they did do that as far as they're going to run the ball. I think they focus on running the ball more. Right.
It's the defensive line as well. I think those are the 2 glaring areas where they needed to add. And right now, they've added a guy you compared to Cousins Subs pitchman, Donald Driver, and no one on the defensive line. Like maybe, Gilbert Brown, who's done some pitchman work previously. You could say whoever they pick up next, it's like adding Gilbert Brown, who's almost 50 years old.
Well, no, it will not unless the guy has 2 tackles in the last 2 years. Then I will compare him to Gilbert Brown. How do you describe, and as I've asked you this, and you can look it up, how do you describe a receiver that has 214 yards receiving in the last 2 seasons? How many tackles would a defensive lineman have to have? 10?
And no sacks because he's got no touchdowns other than in the Super Bowl to win the game. All right, here's another thing that is percolating this morning. The official proposal to ban the tush push has been filed with the competition committee. And don't you just know, it's the Green Bay Packers with the formal proposal to ban the tush push. We will read it to you verbatim from the league because you know that I love reading on the radio. Why the Packers doing this? Why is
you know
them?
The answer to that?
Yes, I do. I'll explain.
We got to get
next.
the Chippewa Falls.
It's Wilde and Tausch. On air.
PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks, and springtime is here and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your PrizePicks lineups. On PrizePicks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. You can combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball and hockey and esports and much more. The second half of the basketball season is here, and the push to the playoffs is heating up on PrizePicks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson, and I'm going to tell you about Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar, official partners of the NFL and the NFL Draft. If you want to experience Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar, let me tell you, it's the perfect tailgate mixer. It is incredible and delicious. And when you want to get up to the draft in Green Bay, just about a month away, you know what you want to have in hand, an ice-cold Pepsi or Pepsi Zero Sugar. Have you tried it yet, by the way? Pepsi Zero Sugar, the same great taste with zero sugar, 0 calories. It is awesome. Perfect as a tailgate mixer or to have in hand. Maybe you're watching the games this week, but you're at work, so you can't have a different type of beverage. Guess what? Crack open an ice-cold Pepsi or Pepsi Zero Sugar, take in the games, and have a blast, because in addition to being an official partner of the NFL and the NFL Draft, Pepsi also a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. And you know they're going to be cheering on the Cardinal and White as they get set for the tournament a little bit later this week. Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar, proud partner of the NFL and the NFL Draft.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Is it Waukesha or Waukesha? Brat or brat? Is it ever okay to vacation in Minnesota? Wisconsinites can't agree on everything, but we can agree getting paid earlier is better. That's why UW Credit Union is making members direct deposits available up to 2 days earlier. Early payday at UW Credit Union. Join today. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit uwcu.org for details.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
We're on the Packers.
If they're not better this year,
because we're on Wisconsin sports,
there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
This ain't a good time, but when is it ever? I know the perfect time, and maybe that's never. So don't you dare leave me now, throw my heart on the ground, 'cause tonight ain't the night for sorrow.
The Green Bay Packers have proposed banning the tush push. Now, what is interesting, there were conflicting reports when this first came to light about this rule that may or may not exist about helping a runner. I saw a few people say that it had been stricken from the record. That apparently is not the case. It just isn't enforced anymore, which you know how the NFL can selectively enforce things. Article 4. Assisting the runner and interlocking interference, which I have no idea what that means. No offensive player may, and again, this is what's on the books right now, Homer. No offensive player may pull a runner in any direction at any time, use interlocking interference by grasping a teammate or by using his hands or arms to encircle the body of a teammate in an effort to block an opponent, push or throw his body against a teammate to aid in attempting to obstruct an opponent or to recover a loose ball. Now, here is what the Packers are adding. Or immediately at the snap, push or throw his body against a teammate who was lined up directly behind the snapper and received the snap to aid him in an attempt to gain yardage. The penalty for assisting the runner, interlocking interference, or illegal use of hands, arms, or body by the offense would be a loss of 10 yards. We all know why the Packers are doing this. Mark Murphy is the official trial balloon tester of Commissioner Roger Goodell.
I would join that club.
There are plenty of teams not named the Philadelphia Eagles who think that this play needs to be banned. Murphy himself has been an outspoken critic of it, even though, while the Packers did get beat by it twice in the playoff game, they actually stopped it a couple years ago. Homer, why are the Packers, other than to placate the commissioner, why are they the ones at the forefront of this, for lack of a better term, controversy?
You just said it because
is the juice worth the squeeze to do this?
Yeah, that's what you just said. This has nothing to do with the rule as much as it has to do with Mark Murphy's role for the NFL. That's it.
Will it result in the rule being changed?
Of course not. But it will create a discussion. Do I want the rule changed? Yes. Yes, it's a horrible rule. It shouldn't exist for any runner. You can't help the runner. That's what it was. That's the benefit of being old. I've watched football, and the key that and I saw what Gene, explained where they dropped it, but the rule, it says interlocking and circle, and the players aren't doing that. So I think you can look at the rule as it stands. It doesn't really allow you to do that. They changed enforcing it. But that aside, is it going to change? No. Fans don't seem to be bothered by it, and right now it's, figure out a way to stop it. But they want a discussion. There's enough of an interest in stopping it, and so this creates that, and then they'll vote, and the rule will stay the same. You'll have the push, so it'll be up to teams to figure out a way to stop it. The way they want it to end is by teams figuring out a way to stop it. And it would help if you had a better way to determine how far the ball went. If this would produce putting some sort of marker on the ball so that you don't have the officials determining where it goes to, but you, like in tennis, you do it with technology, that would be more important than any of this stuff they're talking about.
All right, wait a minute. Couple of questions now, since you're my go-to tennis guy. And Sydney is actually going to play tennis this spring. We've been hitting balls, and I might be a better tennis player than I thought I was, too, but we'll get into that later.
Sure you are. You're a better athlete in everything.
First of all,
yes,
the microchip or whatever is in the ball. I believe Troy Vincent, who was recently in Madison for an event, has said that they are going to begin using that more extensively. Mm-hmm. So that is interesting. And
way more important than this chit-chat we're going.
Well, I think it's interesting that you tied the two together, though. I like that because that's a good point. And maybe it'll be less effective if the ball is being marked based on where the microchip is.
It will be. It will be.
The second part of this, though, that I have been intrigued by is that you can do this without the aiding of the runner. And the Packers, who again are the ones proposing the change, have their version. It is the Tucker Kraft tight end sneak. Bigger, burlier guy moving under center, getting the snap, and then getting the first down for them. He was 6 for 6 this year, and he did it without Jordan Love, who moves into the backfield, and say Josh Jacobs or whoever might be the running back in that situation. He does it without either of them pushing him. The offensive linemen go low and get the leverage part of it, but it's Tucker Kraft on his own. And so the Packers have basically delivered an alternative, whether they were doing it on purpose or not, to the tush push, which is just don't have your quarterback get assisted in doing this. And if you need to have a bigger guy do it because we don't want to get our quarterback hurt doing it, motion him into the backfield and have him take the snap. So as someone, Tausch, usually when he's here, he always wants things to be improved, even things that don't need to be improved. The Packers have brought up an alternative with the way they've handled short yardage situations. And so by them giving the proposal, they can also say, look, here's what we do, and we don't have to break the rules to do it. So I do think I think it's interesting, but to Homer's point, if they're going to use the microchip, that does also factor into this. Now, speaking of the tennis graphics, thanks for up. I'm curious, why do those look like 1980s computer graphics, though, when they show the ball hitting inbounds or out of bounds on the broadcasts?
Don't know, don't care.
Okay.
I mean, it shows that it was out. When they only do that for the benefit of the fan. They don't need to do it. I don't entirely know why they do. I think they want to prevent people from thinking they're wrong. There's no need to show it. It's decided.
So is it
it's
connected
out.
to the system that reads
Sure.
it?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I assume so. I don't know that for sure, but I'm not entirely sure why they do it. I think at some point they'll stop. I think they maybe want to emphasize how close it was.
What more do you want from it? It's just a ball that's in or out on the line. Do you want like a reenactment like they do on those old like history channel
that's kind
things?
of what it is it looks like a reenactment with like handy-manny level cartoons. That's all. It doesn't seem
I would
like
agree.
It
I would
fits
agree.
the
It
level
looks-
of technology that they use. That's all.
Yes.
It's just a ball.
It looks
that's in
more
or
like
out.
a video game. What was the original
Yes.
video game?
Right, like Atari or
Pong?
Intellivision
Yes,
level.
it's like they are using Atari to show you the picture.
Yes, that's all.
Which would
Thank
make
you
me
for
think they aren't
understanding my
spending
point.
they
You
aren't
don't need
spending
any
any
more.
money to make it better because
Right.
it serves its purpose.
Yes.
Who
Thank
other
you.
I
than
think
you
you're
is
right.
out here that's like, we need more better graphics for the tennis replays?
All right, here's the other. Who out here is watching enough tennis to even make that complaint? It's part of the problem with tennis in this country. Not enough interest. But I'm interested, and now I'm even more interested now. Have you ever seen this documentary on McEnroe, by the way? I'm watching this now. It's on
I don't
like
have
Showtime.
to see it. I lived it. I know
you
everything
lived.
there is to know about
You're
John
not in it
McEnroe.
yet, from what I've watched. That your interaction with him did not make it must end
No,
up on
but
the
my
cutting room
brother
floor.
played him when they were 18, 3 or 4 times one summer. I was in tennis and observed his craziness. A person who taught at the racket club where I worked in South Bend, Indiana, he was a student at Notre Dame, claimed that he was the first the first teacher ever for John McEnroe when he was 7 or 8 at the club in Port Washington. I don't know where it is in New York somewhere. So there's nothing. The
worth your
curiosity
time.
I have is how much steroids or performance-enhancing drugs he took to help him with his injuries. I think he stated he did. But was there anything in there about that?
I'm only halfway through it. It's like an hour.
It's tragic,
and
and he would admit it, that he should have won way more than he did. He dominated for a couple of years, had one of the greatest years ever, but just simply didn't take care of himself well enough to win the number of majors that he should have.
Yes,
But he was an epic jerk.
Yeah, he that much is clear. And I can see why people liked Vitas Gerulaitis more than they liked him as a person.
But I will say this. He was also the one who corrected the problem at Wimbledon because they had old people as line judges that were blind. And he was the first one. They weren't technically blind, but they were horrific, and he challenged it, and they changed and got better people.
And then they got the Intellivision Atari graphics to show you where the ball is. We will get back to the Packers. That's been Tausch's Tennis Minute with Uncle Homer. Want to remind you that spring is here, even though it might not feel that way today since it's apparently going to snow. And it's time to refresh your home. During Steinhaffel's Get Ready for Spring sale, you'll find all the latest looks and trends to transform your space. Need design help? Steinhaffel's design packages are on sale, and their designers are by your side every step of the way. Plus, if you buy a premium mattress, you'll get free premier delivery on everything as well. It's the Get Ready for Spring sale, only at Steinhaffel's and Steinhaffel's.com. We'll go to the Carbless Talk and text line for a call and some texts. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
NBA Wednesday on ESPN Radio. Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets head to Los Angeles to face Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers. Coverage begins tonight at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by Indeed.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Well, you know what month it is. Make sure your March is filled with busting brackets, not busting the bank with your energy bill. I'm here to tell you can save money and help save the planet with an easy switch to Everlight Solar. Our family is one of many who have made the switch to solar over the last several years. But when we first started, we weren't exactly sure what to do. That's when we met the great team at Everlight Solar, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhaffel's. Test Rest a Beauty Rest Black for your chance to win a dream Hawaiian vacation. Shop now and save up to $400 on Beauty Rest Black mattresses only at Steinhaffel. Wisconsin owning the 13th best odds to be bracket champs per ESPN Bet. ESPN analyst Josh Pastner sees Bucky as a solid threat. Pastner backing that up with 4 points during his appearance on the jump around.
Number one, they defend without fouling. Number two, they don't turn the ball over. Number three, they are fundamentally sound at everything they do. 4, they make threes, and they make threes at a high clip, and you have perimeter players in Blackwell, Tonje, and Klesman being able to make those threes.
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable. Silverado. Adventurous, fun, techie. Trailblazer. Stylish, nimble. Trax. Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Outside In. That's what we call our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the cool stuff you want outside in your yard displayed inside. Patios, decks, pavers, and an automated pergola, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, a putting green, and in-ground pool. Even a converting 3-season room that's either outside or inside. We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. Your outdoor living potential awaits you at our Outside In showroom, 2018 South Stoughton Road. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
When you've been seriously injured, you'll need a team with knowledge and experience to get the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today. proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Thursday, we'll react to a huge Western Conference matchup. Plus, if you haven't signed up for the Tournament Challenge, what are you waiting for? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Continuing with Uncle Homer as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better.
I have a question for you. I need you to do a story for one of the various venues that the Jason Wilde Enterprises works.
He really is filling in for Tausch.
I do requests. Channel3000.com. What do you got?
There seems to be a lack of appreciation in terms of the greatness of Jordan Love's play last year, especially if you believe in the ESPN QBR. According to QBR,
Sure I do.
Well, then that needs to be researched as to no one should look at it anymore. Do you realize, according to QBR, where do you think Jordan Love ranked among all NFL quarterbacks last season?
10th.
5th. He was the 5th best quarterback in the NFL last season. And why do people underestimate? Like the year before, he was 9th. He improved from 9th to 5th in ranking among quarterbacks in the NFL. And wow, unless someone explains the absurdity of QBR, Jordan Love has been underappreciated more than any other player in the NFL for his performance last season. And I believe you, Jason Wilde, as a 3-time Sports Writer of the Year, are as guilty of that as anyone. Have you in any way referenced him as one of the elite quarterbacks?
Approach.
Not confrontational. You just have won
I,
more awards.
I
am guilty equally as bad as you, but I don't have 3-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year. I've never won anything like that.
That's true.
Sports writer
in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. All right. So I would like you, because your credibility to me is above everyone else's, either show that the QBR is so stupid it must be eliminated. For example, in the late season game, the Packers against Minnesota, he had a higher quarterback rating than Darnold, who was threw for 500 yards, I think. But that's the set. If not, if the QBR is legit, then everybody, other than maybe his family, owes an apology to Jordan Love for the quality of his play last year. Take it away.
So I like my job. I'd like to keep my job. So I'm not going to be as intense of a critic as I perhaps could be. I don't love invented statistics. And this is something that ESPN Analytics came up with, I don't know how many years ago it was now. And while I would acknowledge that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen being number 1 and number 2, and also being number 1 and number 2 in the MVP balloting.
And Joe Burrow, number 3, Jaden Daniels, number 4, and Jordan Love, number 5.
Followed by Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts. The next 5, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Tua Tagovailoa. My issue with this is that I don't think that human athletic achievement can be simply distilled down to analytics. If you were, even though I love the movie Moneyball.
By the way, he was 12th in the old-fashioned quarterback rating.
Yeah, and look, that is a flawed metric too, right? It far values not throwing interceptions, throwing more touchdown passes, and completion percentage. And if you did this QBR stuff with, I'd be curious, have they done this with other all-time great quarterbacks? Have they done Brett Favre's career? Have they done Dan Marino's career? Have they done Montana's career? Aikman, Steve Young, because I'd be curious. That's where the traditional quarterback rating number, there was a different game then, right? Like, the interceptions are way down for everyone. Brett Favre led the NFL in interceptions in 2005 with 29. I think the leader this year threw like 15 or 16. Like, the game has changed. There are more easy completions, so completion rates are up. All those things factor in.
QBR started, I believe, in 2006. That's the first time they mentioned it for Favre. I would like to let people know on Pro Football Reference they have a great stat known as Quarterback Rating Plus, which does a great job.
Is this like OPS Plus? I know you love that stat.
Yes, 100 is average, so they factor in, as you have so nicely done and mentioned, that where it fits, understanding the game was different then. And I think that's fantastic. And so people can get a better appreciation of, like you said, how did you compare with the other great ones during that time, not how you compare against current.
So I guess my
and Brett Favre's 129 in his second to last season with Minnesota is better than every season he played other than his first MVP in 1995, which makes sense because he threw so many touchdown passes and so few interceptions in that year. People don't remember that.
Yeah, he was undeniably magnificent. I got no issue with that. But passer rating and QBR are both.
They are agreed, right? But it's a question of you're comparing everybody to the same, and so even if it's flawed, that you have the same standards for all of them. So in that area, they thought that quarterback rating, they had some problem, and so they thought they came up with something better.
Yeah, and hey, we always want things that are better, right? But
yes,
I think if you had the eye test, which I understand is not analytical, it is more subjective.
That would be good though. Rating, QBR, and eye test. I'd like that.
No one on this panel or anywhere else is going to say that Jordan Love sucked last year. I don't think that would be anything close to accurate. Do I think he was the fifth best quarterback in football last year? I do not. Do I think his injury issues factored into that? I do. Do I also think his inaccuracy has to improve like it did during the second half of 2023 for them to be as good as they think they're capable of being? I also think that. Again, I just don't love again, I mentioned Moneyball. There's like the anti-Moneyball movie with Clint Eastwood, Trouble with the Curve, where then it's all about scouting players and hearing the sound of the ball hitting the catcher's mitt. That's you recognize the sound. I think Amy Adams plays his daughter.
Very good movie, by the way.
It is.
It has nothing to do with baseball. It's a good
Timberlake
movie.
is fantastic, yes. My point is that somewhere in between making it all about numbers and making it not about numbers at all is a fair place to land. And I thought Jordan Love had a decent / pretty good season last year.
I do have one
especially
other
if you
question
factor in his
for you
injuries.
about last season.
Yes, I'd love to answer it instead of getting to the call.
All right. Would you, or do you want to get to the call?
No, it's 11:06. Keith is going to have to wait longer, or he can hang up.
A friend of mine who's very good at judging things and making sure you can't say stuff, and he said, Jordan Love is horrible at long passes. He just doesn't complete them, and so many of their yardages on long passes are the result of pass interference. And I said, it seems to me he's done it, and then I really couldn't find that many. What's the assessment of Jordan Love on long passes? Is it a weakness?
His accuracy.
And this is an eye test question.
It is. I think, first of all, we have to start with the reality that long passes are inherently far more difficult to complete for everyone, right? Whether you're Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Jordan Love or Brian Brom.
Never studied it that well, but I'll accept your premise.
It is hard for me to look at some of the throw he makes in L.A., the blanket reads down there somewhere completion with 3 defenders there. Is that a great throw, or is that good fortune that none of them intercepted that ball? Probably a little of both, right? I think if I'm concerned about his accuracy, I don't think his deep ball accuracy is abhorrent or whatever the word your friend used, terrible. I'm more concerned about his in-rhythm accuracy on shorter throws where it has to be put in a location that allows the player the best chance of then turning it into a bigger gain by hitting him in stride or, there were definitely, he was a victim of 30 drops, more than any other quarterback in the league. But as Jordan would admit himself, which is one of the things I really like about him, there were some throws where if he puts it where he's supposed to instead of where he does, it's not a drop because it's an easier ball to catch. So, again, I think this is more art than science, and I think he still has plenty of potential to become a top 5 quarterback, but I don't care what the QBR said about last year. He wasn't a top 5 quarterback. And if you want to say it was because of his injuries, we're going to chalk it up to that, fine. All I know is that 2025 is a pivotal year for him. A hugely pivotal year. Aaron Rodgers went to the Super Bowl in his 3rd year as the starter. I'm not saying that has to be the bar, but his game needs to elevate. And Jordan would be the first one to say that, so I don't think I'm speaking out of school. All right, we will get to the 11 o'clock hour.
I have an apology to is it Mecole? Is that how you say his first name?
I think so.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, I got an apology. I wish to thank somebody for making me look it up.
Okay.
Do I need to do it now or later?
No, we'll start the 11 o'clock hour with a Homer apology.
Poor Keith.
I don't even know how many times. Yeah, look, Keith, this is how it works. I'm sorry. You're familiar with this show.
I will wait for Keith. Keith can go before my apology. I'm not good at apologies because I do it so seldom.
I know that.
So we
need some time to warm up to it.
Yes.
Okay. We'll get to Keith. We'll get to Homer's apology after we kick off the 11 o'clock hour, and we won't do that until we hear from Tausch about AmFam. You'll hear that, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Hey, Packer fans, dreaming of the ultimate draft day experience? Well, the American Family Insurance Dream Draft Sweepstakes is your chance to win a VIP trip to the NFL Draft in Green Bay. Imagine this. You and a guest could score exclusive tickets, hotel accommodations, custom merchandise, and more. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you don't want to miss. Head over to amfam.com/Packers and enter today. That's amfam.com/Packers. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the state of Wisconsin, 21 years of age or older. Enter by 11:59 Central Time on March 24th. See official rules at amfam.com/Packers.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania. ESPN Madison, your radio home of the WIAA Boys Basketball State Tournament semifinals Thursday and Friday, and all 5 state championship games on Saturday. Catch it all right here on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand. Milwaukee Bucks fall in the first leg of their West Coast road trip last night at the hands of the Golden State Warriors. Final score in San Francisco, Golden State 104, Milwaukee 93. Steph Curry did not play in the game. Jimmy Butler led the Warriors with 24 points, 10 assists, and 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double, 8 rebounds for Jimmy Butler. Bucks led by Kyle Kuzma at 22 points. Giannis had 20 along with 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Next stop for the Bucks, Los Angeles taking on the Lakers Thursday night. Tip time set for 9:30. Late one right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Other hoops action coming up in the next couple of days. Of course, the Wisconsin Badgers in the NCAA tournament tomorrow, 12:30 tip time. Wisconsin and Montana. Marquette, 6:25 tip time Friday, taking on New Mexico in Cleveland.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch with Steve the Homer True in as our cousin sub of the day, Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Begins now, and before we get to Homer's apology and to Wilde and Tausch trivia, let's go to the phones. And a tweet from Matt Coonan. Are we sure the guy on hold is Keith, or is it just Gabe's dad following up on Jason's bill? For those of you who don't know,
wow.
Gabe's dad's name is Mark, but I inadvertently called him Keith first time I met him, even though I knew his name was Mark. So let's welcome Mark/Keith to the show. Keith, good morning. Thanks for holding on so long. What do you got for us?
Good morning, guys. Not an electrician, so...
There's a man who listens to the show. Thank you very much, Keith.
I just wanted to push back a little bit on, I think, the kind of general vibe about the receivers. And, I totally understand when people just compare stats year to year and everything. Last year wasn't impressive. But, I think you have to put it in the context of what they did last year. And last year they threw 100 less passes than they did the year before. In fact, they haven't thrown that few passes per game since 1982. They went from throwing the ball about the middle, about average for the NFL, to being the team that threw it the third least. And the two teams that threw it less, they threw it about the same as the Ravens and then the Eagles. And so they underwent a fundamental change in their offensive philosophy. And so when you look at just opportunity for these guys, I think if we had a 1,000-yard receiver, people would be happy. They would say we have a number one. But when you look at how many fewer passes they threw last year, there's a lot of improvement in that group. It's just not in the numbers. If, for example, if Reed would have had the same opportunities he had the year before, and he performed like he did this year, even with the drops and everything, he'd have been over 1,000 yards. So you have to add about 20% to all of these guys' numbers just to make it an apples-to-apples comparison. And then, and I don't think this is going to change for the Packers. They went out and got Josh Jacobs for $12 million, and he produced almost 1,700 yards of offense last year. That's the same that Justin Jefferson is producing. And they paid him $12 million, and these other guys are getting $40 million. So,
and they paid big money for a guard who clearly is there to help the running game.
Right. And, and the Packers are doing something unique as well. They're dividing their opportunities equally between four guys. When you look at the targets, Dobbs, Reed, and Wicks all had between 70 and 75 targets. You just don't see that on any other team. And then Watson had something in the 50s. So their approach is different. And so I don't know that the talent isn't there. In fact, if you look at these young guys and you go back and look at guys that we hold up as the standards, they compare pretty well against these guys. Like Jaden Reed would compare well against Greg Jennings his first 2 years. Now, there's eye test issues, there's drops, there's other stuff that comes in. I'm not saying it's all about stats. But I think we're ignoring the fact that the Packers completely changed their offensive approach. And so to think that we're a wide receiver-driven team isn't the case anymore. And
wait, let's look at the games in which Jordan Love started. I'd like to.
A couple things, Keith. Let me just get this because I was looking it up while we were talking. In the 2 games that Jordan Love didn't start, instead of having, say, 30 attempts, they had 14 and 19 attempts in those 2 games, right? So that factors into the lower number of targets. You're right. Jayden Reed went from having 94 targets as a rookie to 75. That's a drop of 19 targets. Even if he gets, let's say, 4 targets in each of those games, he's still 4 more targets because Love is quarterbacking them instead of Malik Willis, who they clearly did not want throwing the ball frequently. And then add in the second half in Jacksonville when he threw 5 passes. And there aren't many big cheerleaders beyond me for Malik Willis, but we do have to authentically say with the eye test that they didn't ask him to go throw the football 40 times and go win a game, which is smart. That's not what you want him to do. But that part factors in. The drop numbers, there's no denying those, right? I mean, 30 drops as a team. The Super Bowl champion Eagles had 7 all season. So the Packers dropped more than 4 times as many passes as the Eagles did. But I agree. Look, I agree with you. I'm not throwing the wide receivers out with the bathwater here. Like, I think Jayden Reed can still be a top-flight player. I still believe in Dontavion Wicks. That's my guy. I have more doubt about Romeo Doubs than ever before, and I think it sucks that the guy that I think could be a big-time player who finally stayed healthy, then tears his ACL in the finale in Christian Watson. But you are 1,000% right about this. They changed their offense. It was an engine that was driven by Josh Jacobs. But I would push back on you and say the problem with the offense is that when they needed it in the passing game, what they didn't have was the kind of play we saw Jalen Hurts throw on the dagger touchdown in the Super Bowl. The play action, down the field strike for the touchdown that removes all doubt of a comeback from the Chiefs. And so I think you can be both. You can be right, Keith, and we can also say that they need more from their passing game, and it doesn't have to be the wide receivers, right? Tucker Kraft, we all think, is a rising star in this league. But Tucker Kraft, if you look at his numbers from last year, as good as he was, this goes back to your point, he had 50 catches. He had 31 the year before. Yep. What's realistic to expect from a spread-it-around offense for Tucker Kraft? I don't know in 2025.
He's the guy who benefited from Musgrave's injury. He got the targets that Musgrave got the year before. And so I guess that's my point. When you're doing this ensemble thing, it's almost mathematically impossible for anybody to have those numbers where you look at them and you're going to say they're a clear number one. And I know that's a chicken or egg kind of thing. If you had a true number one, would it be different? But there are 21 receivers who had 1,000 yards last year. 18 of them had 100 or more targets. And the other ones had between, 93 and 100 or something like that. So, I just don't think anybody ought to expect us to see giant numbers from any of these receivers as long as we're spreading things out over four guys. And I think that's maybe why they didn't bring Devontae in, because there's not enough mouths to feed. There's too many mouths to feed, I guess is what I'm saying, with the amount of throws they have. He wouldn't be happy with 75 targets. And if he gets 100, what does that mean for the rest of these guys they're trying to develop that are the future of the team? So, I think it's all in context with how their offense has changed. And I just don't think we can compare numbers year to year and say there's been no progress, because there's some pretty good numbers there. I know you don't like some of these stats. You look at Reed's his passer rating when he's targeted, it's 137 last year with 10 drops. That's insane.
Yeah, my problem with Reed, and whatever the reason is, and again, I don't know what the reason is because
he disappeared.
He evaporated in the second half of the season.
Disappearing because he's not a good player, or is
right?
He disappearing
No.
Because...
I'm not. The debate is not what the reason is. Well, I don't know what the reason is, but his targets, starting with the Bears game that they win in Chicago, 2, 3, 6, 1, 6, 4, 4, 2.
Right.
Like he was a non-factor in the second half of the season, and we can't just chalk that up to like, is he getting open? Is he getting? I don't know. I'm not breaking down the film of those 8 or 9 games. My point is that, and here's the other issue: if they have changed their offense, and look, Keith, I am not pushing back. You made all great points. I mean, you did the research and everything. But what's going to happen now when 31 defensive coordinators, or I guess not all of them will look at it because they'll be preparing for other teams that don't, if they don't play the Packers. But what's the counter move in their passing game when teams say, well, we sure as hell ain't going to let Josh Jacobs beat us the way he did last year to a lot of teams, right? Because that's the next counter move for their offense. And Tausch and I have talked about, we think it's going to be the tight ends. We think they're going to run their offense in the passing game through the tight ends. They're going to believe that Luke Musgrave will be healthy and productive. They know what they have in Tucker Kraft, and then the wide receivers won't be ignored, but it won't be about them, to your point. But despite the addition of Aaron Banks to be a road grading guard so they can run the ball even more effectively with their duo scheme for Josh Jacobs, teams are going to go into games saying, all right, let's see if they can throw it on us. We can't let Josh Jacobs beat us week in and week out. So is their passing game, if they have to throw it more after the way last season went, where is your confidence that they will be able to be productive? Mine's still pretty high because I still believe in Love and I still believe in the other receivers and I believe in their tight end group. But that'll be the counter move that Matt LaFleur has to make. Would you agree?
I do, but I think there's a philosophical difference maybe behind that. So clearly you stop the run, you got to throw. Okay. But I think what everybody expects is the only way you can do that is to have one stud receiver who you can throw to all the time. And I think the Packers' approach is you got to cover 5. You're going to have to cover tight ends, 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, and then you got Matt LaFleur saying at the end of the year, we got to win our one-on-one, sounded like Mike McCarthy. So, look, I'm not saying you have to have a number one receiver who you always go to. I'm not saying you need the Devontae effect of 160 targets or whatever he had his last season here. What I do think you need to have is a guy that on 3rd and 6, you can get that first down with him. And there have been times when Romeo Doubs was that guy, but after last season, I don't know what to expect from him anymore. I don't. I just don't. And after leading the parade for Dontavion Wicks, I could be very much wrong about him. And maybe he is who he is, and he's not going to elevate his game. I don't know, but their passing game, regardless of QBR, regardless of Josh Jacobs, I would argue it has to be, in the critical moments, better than it was last year. And that's not something that necessarily is borne out just by stats alone.
Oh, Keith's gone.
Homer, what was your apology?
I think I may have gone too far for the first time because
never has happened.
Well, because I shouldn't have gone with the Donald Driver because I neglected to mention that he did have 5 carries for 62 yards, an average of 12 yards, and a touchdown. So he doesn't catch anything, but he did run 5 times and scored a touchdown. So it's still very, very, very small, but he's not an ant. I don't know what he is, but his ability to possibly carry the ball in the Packers offense must be mentioned as an addition. You may have, but he had 200.
You weren't listening. Your head was down, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's because I was focusing on the yardages in the last 2 years, which is incredible.
And you compared him to 47-year-old Donald Driver.
Right, and I think Donald Driver could, if he played at this age, match the receiving yardages over the last 2 years. I do not believe he could get a touchdown, have a rush for 20 yards. So it would appear that in terms of how he could assist the Packers, running in that, what do they call it, the power sweep, the reverse? What is the official title of that run?
Jet sweep.
Yeah.
End
jet
around.
Sweep. Right.
By the way, Donald Driver, just to make sure that we have correct information, per Pro Football Reference, he is 50 years and 45 days old.
That's correct.
So he's even older than that.
Right. And I believe he could catch. We don't have to have a poll question. I think he could catch 214 yards of passes in 2 seasons in the NFL
at age 50.
Today. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jesse, it's time for trivia. I don't know. All I know is I love his commercials for Cousins. They're almost as good as Vincent Price's from my youth. Jesse, it's Wednesday. Tausch is not here. I assume we're still going to play Wisconsin geography.
Of
trivia?
course. Yeah.
Okay. Caller 10 right now for the 5th-rated QBR quarterback in the NFL's jersey number, Jordan Love. Caller 10, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. We'll play trivia next after Tausch tells us about Quick Trip. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Mark Tosher here for Quick Trip. Well, life is busy, and Quick Trip gets it. And whether you're craving fresh coffee, a tasty bakery treat, or a quick grab-and-go meal or snack, Quick Trip is your go-to. Food's here. Quick Trip has a variety of apps and meals ready when you are. Plus, you always got to make room for dessert. Nature's Touch ice cream. You can get a gallon of chocolate or vanilla for $4.99. But wait, you know there's even more at Quick Trip right now. Quickery white bread for 99 cents a loaf. Get a 12-pack of sodas, 2 for $10, and Kitchen Cravings bacon wrapped pork loins, 4 for $5. Can warm up on those remaining chilly days with soup bags, $6.99 every Tuesday for 36 or 40-ounce bags. And I can't get through talking about Quick Trip without mentioning the great deals on chicken. Roasted whole chicken on special for $6.99 on Mondays. Whether it's a quick bite or dinner on the go, Quick Trip is the ultimate destination. Fuel your day with quality taste. Download the Quick Rewards app and take advantage of all Quick Trip has to offer. Quick Rewards on every visit, plus you can order ahead for pickup or curbside delivery. Quick Trip. We'll see you next time.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Hi, this is Brian Posick, and I can't wait for Mark Osiki's Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament coming up Saturday, May 17th on the Madison Chain of Lakes. It's a great time, great people, all for a great cause. There's lunch, dinner, raffles, and auctions, all to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. Plus a chance to win an Alumacraft fishing boat from Don's Marine. Join us on the water May 17th. Donate or partner with us. Learn more and register at castingforkids.org. That's casting4kids.org.
Drum roll, please.
Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in-store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why less is more with Carbliss.
Get in the game this March at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, where free throw fortunes can be very rewarding. On Saturday afternoon, March 29th, 18 winners will spin the wheel to secure 2 or 3 prize pucks. Each winner drops those pucks down the big board to determine their total prize of up to $3,000. Then at 4 o'clock, one grand prize winner will take home up to $30,000. It's a huge day of prizes, so don't miss your shot at Free Throw Fortunes. Big fun is always a slam dunk at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. Well, this time of year, it feels like every day is a big game day, and you need a winning pizza lineup to celebrate. Pepperoni, sausage and mushrooms, or ham, pineapple, and bacon. Well, the choice is yours. And right now, you get a large 3-topping original stuffed crust pizza for just $11.99 at Pizza Hut. Available for delivery or carryout, you can create your perfect pizza no matter the game plan for just $11.99. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or online at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I say go, baby, go, go, go. Oh, I say go till you can't go. No more, no more. I say go, baby, go, go, go. I've been to a place where the drifters go. It brought me trouble, yeah, it brought me low. Time was flying, but I was rooted in my blues. When I looked up, all I saw was myself.
Time for trivia. Let's welcome in our contestants. It is a first-time contestant. It's Bill in New Berlin. Bill, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Morning. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We are very good. We appreciate you playing for the first time. Have you been trying for a while, or is it's a new thing where you tried?
I've tried a couple times in the past, maybe 5 to 10 times calling in, but first time I got through, yeah.
All right, well, let's see how you fare in Wisconsin Geography Wednesday trivia. Question number 1 is this. The Kress Center and the Resch Center are both basketball arenas home to college teams in which of these Wisconsin cities? Green Bay, Milwaukee, or Madison?
I will go with Green Bay.
The home of the Phoenix, the Kress Event Center, and the Resch Center. Correct. Mundo, question number 1.
No, Wisconsin Green Bay is not going to play there much next year.
Play
men's basketball.
Yeah.
They're going to play almost all their games on campus, smaller arena, a greater competitive edge, so Doug Gottlieb can win more than 4 games, which he will.
We hope to have his leading scorer, too. Question 2, Bill, is this, by the way, the Kress Center is a really nice, fun facility. Fabulous. It is smaller, but I enjoy the games that I've been to, and it does get very loud.
As someone who went to a smaller school, I think all schools the size of Green Bay should play in on-campus arenas. You can make some alcohol sales if you play in a downtown arena and whatnot, but there's the competitive advantage you get playing at home in a small venue like that is incredible.
I don't know enough about the rules. I have some friends who are on like their athletic board and stuff. I'll have to ask, but I am curious. The Resch Center, it does look cavernous when you don't have a lot of people in there. Question 2, Bill, is this. Latitudinally, which of these Wisconsin cities is located farther north than the alleged burial plots of John Heisman, the man for which the Heisman Trophy has been named?
You're kidding. This can't be a question.
It's a question.
Oh,
yesterday,
my God.
There was a lengthy discussion of John Heisman's burial plot in which Wisconsin city or town or whatever. By the way, I got a lot of texts about that.
We can reveal for the sake of the question that it's in
I didn't know. Okay.
Rhinelander is where Tausch told us yesterday, the mystery man from the speaking engagement he was at. Mystery man came up to him, said, "Do you know where John Heisman's buried?" Which is a weird thing to ask a stranger. It is Rhinelander. And that is context for this question.
I would have said in a box.
So now,
good answer. Good answer.
So now this question becomes a little bit easier. Which of these Wisconsin cities are farther north than Rhinelander? Is it Eagle River, Crivets, or Chippewa Falls?
We got to get to Chippewa Falls.
Boy, I am not entirely sure. I know I worked up in the Eau Claire area for a while, so I'm just going to guess Chippewa Falls.
Eagle River, farther
Eagle
north
River.
than Chippewa Falls and Rhinelander. All right, bounce back here, Bill. Question 3. Kamari McGee of Wisconsin, Tyrese Hunter of Memphis, and Amari Jedkins of Montana are all 2025 NCAA tournament participants this year who played high school basketball at schools in which of these Wisconsin cities?
Can I answer this?
No, you may not. Kenosha, Racine, or Appleton?
Oh, man. Wow. This is going to be another guess. I will go with Racine.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Tyrese Hunter, by the way, I'm reading here, is out with a foot injury. Whether or not he'll be able to return for the NCAA tournament, we'll have to wait and see. But he was.
By the way, one was
AAC
coached by someone who I referred to during a Marquette game as looking like Pee Wee Herman and all his teammates. And his coach has not appreciated that even to this day. That would be Nick Bennett, the son of Jack Bennett, when they were at Stevens Point playing Marquette. And they all did look like Pee Wee Herman. All right, back to this.
I didn't realize Tyrese Hunter was at Memphis now. I remember when he was at Iowa State, and then he left for Texas, and now he's at Memphis. He played at Racine St. Catherine's. Bill, you got 2 out of 3, so well done. That means you got 3 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We appreciate you being a first-time contestant, and we appreciate your loyalty to the show, buddy. Thanks.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Whoa, Nelly is next after Tausch tells us about UW Credit Union. It's Wilde and Tausch.
UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years, they'll help you reach your financial goals. And if you're like me, you've always got cheddar on the mind. UW Credit Union can help with no monthly fee checking and great rates that let you keep more of your cheese. And when you're at that stage of life where you're ready to purchase a new home, UW Credit Union is your location for home loans. With UW Credit Union's local experts, a great loan at a great rate is never far from home. Join today at uwcu.org. That's uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here from one of my favorite places, Pizza Hut. From settling in at the opening tip to an extra slice during the 7th inning stretch, make the delicious options from Pizza Hut the perfect addition to any game day this time of year. Having the whole crew over to your place for the night, or getting home just in time on your own to see your team in action. Well, either way, Pizza Hut has you covered. Order the original stuffed crust pizza, the OG, the GOAT, the one and only. Others try to copy, but none are like Pizza Hut. Take advantage of this championship deal right now at Pizza Hut. You can get a large 3-topping stuffed crust pizza for just $11.99. Well, you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. It was great then, and it's great making new memories with my family now. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Get your team together. Softball is back for 2025. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Adult Summer Softball Leagues is now open. Men's, women's, and all-gender slow pitch and women's fast pitch leagues are forming now for the summer season. MSCR Softball Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. Spend your summer evenings with us on the diamond. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
Gruber Law Office's Thanasis Live is back. March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Join Thanasis Adetokunbo for a live show that's sure to entertain like none other. Last year, it was a surprise appearance from ESPN's Stephen A. Smith. You never know what Thanasis has planned for 2025. Get your tickets to Thanasis Live right now. Visit ESPN Madison on Twitter for event and ticket info. It's Gruber Law Office's Thanasis Live, presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel and Carbliss. Also supported by the Prisoner Wine Company and McDonald's.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
We are with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Our Pella team simplifies the process, taking time to listen and find the right solution for you. And right now, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025. NBA Wednesday on ESPN Radio. Mecole Jokic and the Denver Nuggets head to Los Angeles to face Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers. Coverage begins tonight at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by Indeed.
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around.
Time now for an abbreviated Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Homer, I'm getting ready to fill out my Cousin Subs bracket challenge here with ESPN Wisconsin. Chance to win $1,000 in Cousin Subs. I don't know what you're allowed to say or not allowed to say, but...
don't get him in trouble with the NCAA or Marquette, please.
I just want to know how far I can hope that Marquette will make it here in these first couple of rounds of the NCAA tournament, because it wasn't the strongest finish to the regular season, but they're battle-tested in postseason play. I kind of like the matchup with New Mexico because the Mountain West stinks in the NCAA tournament, as evidenced last night by San Diego State.
Oof.
So... I kind of like it, but I'm concerned about that Michigan State game in round 2 because they always put Marquette up against Michigan State for some reason.
I like to say you can determine how everybody believes on something, not by what they say, but by how much they would bet. I would bet a significant amount, theoretically, against New Mexico. I would not bet much against Michigan State.
Jason,
you need more?
No, that is. I think that suffices as I try to win $1,000.
I mean, in my bracket, as the voice of Marquette basketball, I tend to be very positive in my selection.
Sure. Yeah.
Are you even allowed to fill one out? Isn't that against some sort of rules?
I don't think so.
He only writes Marquette all the way, and no other teams are on it.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm glad we could clarify. By the way, just want to let everybody know the campaign for Steve the Homer True to be inducted into the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame is underway. I've reached out to them via
you got a ways
Twitter.
to go. I checked to see who's in it.
Oh boy.
It's a long, arduous process, but I've taken the longest journey starts with the first step. And I have taken that.
There is a local legends category. Would you be offended if you got in as a local legend?
That's like the seniors committee.
It hasn't changed. Nothing's changed as far as my premise.
Well, I may even be willing to put that out there. Mark Belling, just to get you in. All right. I do want to know, because we haven't talked Marquette basketball and we have you on, what are the encouraging signs you saw during the Big East tournaments that make you feel good about where the Golden Eagles are heading into this postseason?
No, they're playing better. They've had a stretch of good games. They lost a close game to St. John's, played St. John's better than anybody else has since then. They just have to shoot the ball well. There are just too many players that have missed shots, and the game is real simple, like North Carolina. North Carolina won by 100 last night against a very good defensive team in San Diego State because their star player was 6 for 6 shooting threes.
Yeah, he's
Marquette
really
Marquette has just hasn't shot well enough shooting threes, and that will determine how far they go in the tournament, as it will for many teams. But their overall play has gotten back to be better in the last few games. So they shoot well. They could win both games. But they haven't, so...
From the voice of Marquette men's basketball.
Yes.
For 35 years, Steve the Homer True and future Wisconsin Broadcasters Association
I wouldn't bet much on that.
Hall of Famer. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yes,
all right,
will.
we need to wrap things up. We also need to hear from I guess we'll hear from Tausch again tomorrow. How many of these did he record, by the way?
A lot. He's got a lot to tell us about while he's gone. Well, that'll happen back into March. Busy time.
Yeah, we do look forward to his triumphant return. In the meantime,
can you believe he left and will be back, and they'll play all the NCAA tournament games except the Final Four and the championship?
I can totally believe that. Yep.
He left before the tournament started, and he'll be back, and there will be 3 college basketball games left. Old T.
He's one of one. You can be one of many going to see Gruberloff's Thanasis live if you win a pair of tickets right now, courtesy of McDonald's. Caller number 7 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776, wins 2 tickets to Thanasis live, March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Join Thanasis for a live show that's going to entertain fans like none other. Last year, Giannis was there. Stephen A. Smith was there. You never know who's going to be there for Thanasis Live. And if you don't win tickets now, here on Wilde and Tausch, you can still get your tickets to Gruberloff's Thanasis Live right now by visiting ESPN Milwaukee's and ESPN Madison's social media channels to get the event and ticket information. Excitement and entertainment you can't get anywhere else. It's Gruberloff's Thanasis Live, presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel and by Carbless, and supported by the Prisoner Wine Company and McDonald's. Right now, caller 7, courtesy of McDonald's, gets 2 tickets to Thanasis Live, 844-770-3776. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churio, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, it's the time of year when everybody is thinking about travel. Whether you're still finalizing details for a spring getaway or you're already on to thinking about where you'll be heading for a summer road trip, don't let vehicle maintenance be what slows you down. Make sure your vehicle is in its best shape possible every time you're getting ready to hit the road by stopping in to see the amazing service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Routine maintenance is critical for keeping your vehicle in the best shape possible. Oil changes, tire rotations, tune-ups, and so much more. Get it checked out before you hit the road so you're not stranded when you're away from home. And if you're in the market for a vehicle upgrade, check out Zimbrick Chevy's new and used vehicle inventory. You can start your search by logging on to ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Stop into Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie and discover this great automotive team I've been telling you about for years. Consistently recognized as a best of Madison operation, Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by The Jump Around. Don't miss new episodes of this exclusive digital show talking all things Wisconsin sports, premiering every Thursday at 12:30, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. It's tourney time. Wisconsin owning the 13th best odds to be bracket champs per ESPN Bet. ESPN analyst Josh Pastner sees Bucky as a solid threat. Pastner backing that up with 4 points during his appearance on The Jump Around.
Number 1, they defend without fouling. Number 2, they don't turn the ball over. Number 3, they are fundamentally sound at everything they do. 4, they make threes, and they make threes at a high clip, and you have perimeter players in Blackwell, Tonje, and Klesmit being able to make those threes.
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
They did it again. For the 5th time, Siding Unlimited, the 30-year-old Wisconsin family-owned company, is the Pella Window and Door Company's Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year in the whole USA. Siding Unlimited is here in Madison with a dynamic outside-in showroom. See Siding Unlimited's window, door, roofing, deck, and other great outside stuff inside at 2018 South Stoughton Road, south of Buckeye. See Siding Unlimited's frequent Instagram posts or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
That's all we have time for today.
What?
Yeah, I know.
I'm just getting started.
Well, good thing you have a show later on today.
By the way, yes, it'll be on YouTube. We're not on the radio because of the Brewers, so if you want a shot at Rain Man, you'll, I don't know how we're going to do that. Oh, no, I guess we can do it.
People can still call the studio.
Yep, that's true. I'm not an expert on YouTube.
So I'm still joining you at 5:15.
You are, yeah.
Do you have Bulaga tomorrow again still, so I get to talk to both you
yes, we
knuckleheads
will
again?
not. The Brewers will not be on, so yes, you will be.
All right. I look forward to talking with you on YouTube later. Thank you for being our cousin sub of the day and allowing us to enjoy the beautiful camouflage hat you've been wearing and the top of it throughout today's program. Anything to add?
No, they don't. People don't know how bald I am. I think that's a plus. I like the idea of hats now.
Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcast